15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Hurts back. Here comes the rush. He steps up. He lets it fly, and it's over the outstretched arms. But a penalty flag thrown.
Finally.
It was intended for A.J. Brown, but it's going to be holding against the Lions. It is holding against the Lions, and they will get a first down.
Eagles Radio Network, little sus at the end of the game, but the Eagles come through with a big win.
Okay.
16-9, your barn burner on a Sunday Night Football. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. I say this with kind of like a shrug, and are the Eagles the best team in the NFC? I have no idea. I don't think they are. Their offense is a problem. Turns out A.J. Brown was probably right to complain. But, Pearl, the defense looked so good last night. It almost didn't even matter. The Lions could do absolutely nothing on offense.
Well, it was windy, and you bring an indoor team outdoors, it's always problematic. And Lions, we know, historically, Jared Goff's not good in that kind of weather. But I asked you, say, are the Eagles the best team in the NFL? Name a team that doesn't have some glaring flaw.
Yeah.
That's the problem. We're choosing among completely flawed teams. So at least the Eagles have the pedigree. I would say this is not a real answer. Are they the best team? No. Are they not the best team? No. Like, everybody's in the same boat. The Eagles, the Broncos, the Rams, the
Packers,
Bills. Your Bills have a flawed defense and a good offense.
Houston has a great defense, terrible offense. Cleveland has a great defense, terrible offense. Did you mention Seattle yesterday with all the picks from Sam Darnold? We'll get to in a moment. But I guess let's pause on this for a second, because do you have to give, I guess, the Eagles credit for just finding ways to win? You know, yesterday was the second time that Dan Campbell had taken over play calling responsibilities. Now, the first week he did it, they put 44 up against the Commanders. So, thumbs up Dan Campbell. Last night, I mean, they were just dreadful. 3 of 13 on third down, 0 for 5 on fourth down, which is kind of like their signature move. 0 for 5 on third down in the first 8 drives. They're now in third place in the NFC North. Look out, the Chicago Bears are actually leading that division.
Another flawed team, by the way.
Another flawed team who has to win on a last-second Cairo Santos, field goal, and they were in a barn burner of a game. It's just there are no complete teams, but what Philadelphia did yesterday to the Detroit Lions. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 2 catches on 12 targets for 42 yards. The only thing that Detroit had going was sometimes Jahmyr Gibbs would get the ball and just make something happen. But after that, it was a 0.
Yeah, I mean, the 0 for 5 on fourth down is pretty shocking. Because that's their signature move. You knew Dan Campbell was not going to change being Dan Campbell. I hate to say this, and first of all, he had a terrible fourth down call as well that didn't go his way. Nick Sirianni, I'd say the Eagles coaching staff out-coached the Lions coaching staff.
It's Vic Fangio. The defensive coordinator. I'm still not doing this. The offense stinks, bro. Your offense, if I'm A.J. Brown, he got all this criticism because he said that the offense, you can't just slap a Band-Aid over it and think that everything's okay because you're winning. He had to go meet with the owner because of this. They had to hash it out as a major story.
What a disgrace.
Huge distraction. A.J. Brown is correct. Their
offense
offense is terrible.
Correct.
And by the way, even the tush push couldn't work last night. That's when you know things are wrong, and man, he rejoices. He's so sick of the tush
I totally
push.
disagree with this. Nick Sirianni's a great coach.
Fine.
It's not just, he's a great coach. He is a Hall of Fame level coach.
Well, because the winning percentage, not because he's known as some kind of mastermind.
That is the goal of being a coach, is to win the game. They've beaten the Chiefs this year. They've beaten the Rams this year. They've beaten the Packers. Now they've beaten the Lions.
You want to talk about those games and what they look like and how they won? Nick Sirianni gets credit for a blocked field goal returned for a touchdown. He doesn't get credit for that. That's not a great coaching move.
What are you talking about?
Players. That was against the Rams.
They're definitely a well-prepared team. I mean, you could say it's all Fangio. And by the way, why is A.J. Brown right? What is right about A.J. Brown?
The offense is
They targeted him last night. It looked awful.
Well, I know, but Jalen Hurts had less than 200 yards passing. Saquon Barkley is running for 3.2 yards a clip. It's not right. You have offensive linemen going in and out, which is probably the reason why things are not looking very good.
Well, they missed a tush push at the end. Lane Johnson's out, and Cam Jurgens is out. So that's the real concern. That's why I'd be chest out as an Eagles fan today, except for the offensive line injuries. So I can't, but none of this Fangio, I won't take any of this Fangio criticism. Not Fangio, I'm sorry, Sirianni. Sirianni, he's doing something right. I think you're missing it. I really do. I think that the main job of a head coach is to relate to players. And I think
he's doing a dynamite job. It's a negative headline every 48 hours coming out of Philadelphia.
But I think the bulk of that team really responds to that guy. I really do. And I know A.J. Brown is this diva receiver, and he's an exception. But you think there's a defensive guy in that building who wouldn't do anything for another defensive guy in that building? That's a great culture there.
Great. That's why I'm giving all this credit to Vic Fangio. And I'm also giving credit to Howie Roseman because he had this third-round pick, and it was just burning a hole in his pocket. And he got Jalen Phillips, who, again, for the second game in a row, leads the team in quarterback pressures. He's been an excellent addition. It's like strength on strength. They've got embarrassment of riches and depth, as Chris Collinsworth was talking about last night. Defensive line looks great. Linebackers are amazing. Your back end is holding up. Like, Quinyon Mitchell is awesome. Cooper DeJean comes up with an interception last night. It's just really good from the defensive side. Now, here's the question about the Eagles, though, and I'm curious about your take as someone who watches them so closely. Do they actually have a Super Bowl team if the offense is going to look like this against good teams?
Absolutely. Because, first of all, one of the reasons the defense looks so good is because the offense is playing so conservatively. Sirianni's playing the games he in. He definitely outcoached Matt LaFleur 2 weeks ago, and I think he outcoached Dan Campbell last night. They are playing the game they're in, and he's being very conservative to control the game. Once they get in the playoffs, they have a couple things they can do. First of all, Jalen Hurts is not running. You don't think he's going to run in the postseason? That is their best offensive play and has been their best offensive play for 3 years. So they're going to run a lot of design runs. That'll pick up the offense. That'll free up life for Saquon Barkley. I don't know about the passing game, but if it's a weather game, we saw it last night. They don't care about the passing game, and they're not going to need it. The reality is they got to keep their foot on the pedal to get home field, because if the game, say the NFC title game's in LA, then the Rams are probably favored. If it's in Philly, you know it's going to be weather. The Eagles are favored. So to me, the biggest competition for the Eagles will be the Rams, and that's all going to come down to where the game is.
Go Birds! So not to quibble about the details here, but this is where I actually can't get behind the Nick Sirianni is amazing, and I just don't see the genius. It was last week. I was still stand behind. That was a terrible idea to go for it on fourth down. You're talking about playing the game you're in. Your defense is on this all-time heater. That last night, to do the double tush push at the end of the game when you could have just punted the ball away. I mean, to be honest,
what's wrong with that?
The Lions ended up scoring because you didn't pick it up. And the Lions end up kicking a field goal, and all of a sudden it's a one-score game. And, yeah, there wasn't enough time. The Lions couldn't do anything on offense. But if you're really playing the game you're in, why are you giving extra opportunities in good field position, rather, for the other team's offense? It doesn't compute to me. I don't trust Nick Sirianni at the end of the game.
So you wouldn't have gone for it on fourth down?
I think I would have punted.
What about a 3rd and 1 when they didn't tush push early in the game? I think that we had this issue last week. I don't even remember which game. Coaches want to keep the ball at the end of the game. They don't want to give it to the other team.
But he ends up giving it to the other team anyway, just with better field position. That's what happened with Green Bay, and that's what happened last night with Detroit. So it just doesn't hold up. I'll give all the credit to Fangio, all the credit to Howie Roseman. I just think people are like, wow, Nick Sirianni, he's such a culture setter. There are more negative headlines that come out of Philadelphia than any other team in the league. And you can't say it's the press or it's the sports talk radio, because we have that in New York, we have that in Boston, we have that all over the country. It's not a figment of our imaginations. There really is disharmony inside the building. They just keep winning in spite of it.
Wait. Besides A.J. Brown, what
That's what I'm talking about. That's
the one guy. He's one diva wide receiver.
Well, get it under control. The guy has to meet with the owner.
Who cares? What difference does that make to the overall team?
Well, I just think that you can say Nick Sirianni is this amazing leader and that he's got his finger on the pulse of the locker room when this is a consistent issue that keeps coming up.
It's just one guy. They won a Super Bowl with the same exact issue last year.
I'm just saying, you don't hear this negative stuff coming out of L.A. You don't hear it coming out of where?
That's
the
so funny.
Lions.
The A.J. Brown thing is just a distraction to keep the Eagles media busy. There's about 1,000 of them. That is you think A.J. Brown is the reason his complaining is going to keep them out of the Super Bowl? I think it's very, very
I
obvious. The only thing that'll keep him out of the Super Bowl is injuries.
No, that's not what I said. I said you can't tell me Nick Sirianni is this great locker room leader when he can't get control over this one guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well.
I'm serious.
There've been
It's
a
the
lot
same
of great
thing
teams.
over and over and over again.
There have been a lot of great teams with out-of-control players. I mean, Bill Walsh and Jimmy Johnson both had to deal with Charles Haley. There's been the number of diva wide receivers through the course of time. Jerry Rice used to complain about targets all the time to Bill Walsh, and Belichick had Aaron Hernandez.
Dude, I mean, now you're taking it to a level. I'm
just saying
taking
every great team has a crazy wide receiver. It's kind of part of the nature of the position. They want targets, and they're going to complain vocally if they don't get them. I don't think that is a team killer. I think that they could be fine with A.J. Brown being upset. In fact, they don't even need A.J. Brown, to be honest.
They should have traded him. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. So are the Eagles the best team in the NFL?
Give me a health report on Lane Johnson, and then I will answer that question.
You know what's crazy? I think actually we're asking what team has some balance, because you're right. You look at some of these teams at the top, or all throughout the NFL, the defense is either way ahead of the offense. Sometimes the offense is way ahead of the defense. I think probably the most balanced team right now would be the Colts, but they don't play anybody. They haven't really played a hard enough schedule for us to know exactly who they are. But their offense and their defense are both really good and complementary. And maybe the Patriots?
Well, I don't put either of those teams in the top 5 for Super Bowl odds.
I'm just saying, these are, if you're talking about balanced teams, ones where the offense and the defense are actually complementary.
Know?
Well, exactly. I don't know. I don't know what the Colts really are, and I don't know what the Patriots really are either.
I mean, I think the debate is, if you're trying to, who is the favorite in the NFL? That's the question. I mean, it's if you're going to set the odds, if you're a Vegas bookmaker, it's going to be the Eagles or the Rams, right? That's your two choices. Because who would it be? There's not an AFC team that is really in the discussion, because we just don't know about your Bills and the Chiefs yet. So they come down in the odds, and then you have two NFC powers.
Chiefs took a big L yesterday on the road. We'll get into what happened in Denver yesterday. I'm just stunned. When Patrick Mahomes gets the ball, well, at any time really, but especially 4 minutes left to go in a tie football game, and he goes 3 and out. And they actually had 2 3-and-outs, I believe, in the fourth quarter, Pearl. It's just shocking. I'm just not used to it. And we also had a real nail-biter between the Rams and the Seahawks, where the Rams bait Sam Darnold into 4 interceptions.
They didn't even need to bait into a couple of those.
Whatever. Sam Darnold seen ghosts again.
Trying a jump pass while 7 defenders are on top of him.
And yet, the Rams still had to sweat out watching Jason Myers go for a 61-yard field goal. Was it 61? Something like that. And he missed it. If you have 4 turnovers, you should win that game 44-0. But anyway, we'll get into that. Because Seahawks
part of it was the
defense
Seahawks are so aggressive on offense, and I actually love. I become a Seahawks fan. They're like, he just threw 2 interceptions. You know what? Let's run 9 pass plays in a row, and Sam Darnold just sit in there, take every hit possible, and gun it down the field. The Rams won for one reason only. Manny, you know what that was?
Special teams.
Punt, baby. They got a lucky punt to win the game.
That was an amazing punt.
Yeah.
It was
the
right
Rams
inside the 1.
Win a game on a punt that happens to bounce sideways out of bounds. Otherwise, the Seahawks are the story of the day.
That was gorgeous.
That was skill, by the way. It didn't happen.
That was absolutely gorgeous.
Is it really?
Skill?
You guys think that he put the spin to land and then bounce 14 feet to the left?
I'd say that if I were him.
When you guys saw that punt go out of bounds right at the 1, tell me you guys didn't blur it out an expletive.
Oh, my God. It was crazy.
It was gorgeous. That's why it's the most exciting play in sports.
The other special teams player on the Rams ruined it by grabbing the ball and running out of bounds. I'm like, did he just run into the end zone with the ball? It was close.
It was close, yes. I did think that for a second as well, but then, the replay. Gorgeous.
We're talking about an NFL where the elite teams are basically coming down to a punt. That's where we are right now with the league.
Just
I told
crazy.
you guys. Told you guys.
We also got a ShedeurSanders sighting yesterday.
Oof.
Well,
I mean, it did
tough
happen.
spot.
Yeah, it happened.
It did happen.
Taking quarter a little too seriously when it comes to quarterback. Because that was his completion percentage, 25%.
Oh, yeah. Was that a math joke? Wow.
God, Manny, you're on my turf right now with that weird dad joke.
Easy. It's too early, man. That was too hot. Can't have math jokes. Monday at 6:14 a.m. Okay, 888-710-4ISN. We'll get into Shedeur. 888-710-4ISN. 4476. So much to get to. You guys know the drill on Mondays. If we're not talking about your game, give us a call. Chat's up and running. YouTube.com/Infinity Sportsnet. Jump on in. Leave your takes there. We will get to them. First of all, are the Eagles the best team in the NFL? Shrug emoji, question mark.
Oh, Bird!
It's Maggie and Perloff Show.
All right, Maggie. Monday Night Football. It's going to be a big night tonight. Not just because it's fun, and we got the boys. It's because of Prize Picks. Prize Picks, you can make calls on football, hockey, basketball. How it works is so simple. You just pick 2 or more players across any sport, pick more or less on their projections, and if you're right, you could win big. And right now, you can keep the season rolling by getting a $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. And Maggie, I know coming off a big weekend, I'm sure you did well, and you're fired up for tonight. What's your plan?
Well, college football, very good to me on Prize Picks over the weekend. Not to toot my own horn, but tonight, this is what I'm looking at. Okay, you mentioned Cowboys. George Pickens, 63.5 receiving yards playing against the Las Vegas Raiders, the hapless Raiders. Give me more than for George Pickens. And then I'm going to combine that with a little Donovan Mitchell. You got the Cavs and the Bucks tonight, which is a pretty good one. I'm going to have it on the second screen. 4.5 rebounds. Give me more than. I think it's going to be a lot of possessions in this game, and I think guards are going to be rebounding, and that's the deal for tonight. And Prize Picks, you guys know we talk about it all the time because we love it, and you can be a part of the action. Just download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code MNP. Get $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. That's code MNP on Prize Picks. You get $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. So win or lose, you'll get $50 bonus credit in lineups just for playing. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
What's so good about Cleveland?
You're in a 4-minute break. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. 1 minute remaining. "45 seconds remaining. "30 seconds remaining. "15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Jason Myers from 61 yards to win it with 1 second to go for the Seahawks. Snap, hold, and boot on the way. It's fading right. It's bleeding right. It's no good. And the Rams are in first place in the NFC West.
Pretty amazing that game got that close. Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff Show. Again, as I've stated, I am fully on the Seahawks bandwagon because Clint Kubiak, their offensive coordinator, future head coach next year probably, he just tells Sam Darnold, I want you to stay in there no matter where the pressure is coming and throw it at the last second to try and get 600 yards of offense. And it's totally glorious because Sam Darnold, you have no idea where the ball is going. And they should have probably won that game if it wasn't for a super punt. The Seahawks drive down the field and hit a game winner. That 61-yarder missed decidedly. I can't wait till these two teams meet again later in the season because they are very evenly matched, Seattle and the Rams. And in the wild hodgepodge that is the NFC, I think either team could advance to at least the NFC title game.
I mean, it's just a testament to the Seattle's defense yesterday that they were in this game with a chance to win it in the last second and steal a win because Sam Darnold was terrible.
Well, I
the defense
disagree.
kept them in the game because Matthew Stafford was harassed also by the Seahawks defense. He was off. He could not find Devontae Adams with a map.
Well, but in the key part of the game, they had two massive touchdown drives, and then they just put it on protect mode because they were picking off Sam Darnold left and right. They got very, very conservative. When it mattered, their offense looked amazing. And then for some reason, they just turtled up and didn't try and run any plays. I mean, Stafford only threw 28 passes on the game. So I think that was a game flow thing. I think these coaches like Nick Sirianni and Sean McVay are just getting conservative with a lead right now. Because I saw early in the game, did the Rams offense look bad at all? No, they looked like they were picking apart Seattle easily.
Well, they were weirdly going for it on some fourth downs early in the game, which is not really McVay's thing. But Stafford was off. I mean, Devontae Adams, 1 catch on 8 targets. 1 did go for the touchdown. Stafford threw the 2 touchdowns, but barely completed 50% of his passes at 130 pass yards. I thought this guy's going to be the MVP. He still might be, but the turnover battle was the story of that game, but yet still the Rams were sweating it out. We're asking you today, are the Eagles the best team in the NFL or NFC? Take your pick. Phil's in Pennsylvania. Yes, sir.
Just one stat why I'm back on the Eagles. Jalen Hurts has 16 touchdowns and 1 pick. Like the Rams, just avoid turnovers. That's the new coaching move around the NFL. And if he's not targeting A.J. Brown, but he's just throwing the ball away left and right. I think the Rams and the Eagles both did something smart. They avoiding turnovers.
Phil, what do you think, pal?
Seattle bandwagon? Seriously, Perloff?
Wait, they're birds. They're all the way across the country. I'm allowed to be on the Seattle bandwagon. Leave me alone, Phil. Doesn't mean I don't love the Eagles.
I would be somewhat open to that, but NFC, that crosses the line.
Don't worry. The Eagles do not have to be worried about the Seahawks, Phil.
I'm just worried about going to Seattle. That's about it. Anyway, I heard a stat from Reuben Frank yesterday. The Philadelphia Eagles since 2022 against teams above 500, 24-7. The next best team is only 6 games above 500.
I heard the same stat.
That's what the Eagles do.
You know who the next best team is, Phil? Buffalo Bills.
Seattle.
No, it's Buffalo. Maggie's Buffalo, and they're about 10 games behind the Eagles. They Nick Sirianni's a great coach. Tell her, Phil. She won't believe me.
He is a great coach, but it's more than just him. It is just a whole collective of coaches. I mean, it's special teams, it's defensive line. I mean, but also you need to give Jake Elliott some really, mad props because in that win, 3 for 3, including a 49-yard field goal. I mean, I was watching the Packers game, and nobody could even hit so much as an extra point. So, really, really impressed with him. But this is what the Eagles do. They just play really good defense. I mean, it's like literally going to time machine back to 1995 and watching really great defenses. That's exactly what it is. I mean, if you score, 35 points, 40 points against a JV defense, oh, man, everyone praising. But if you hold a team to less than 10 points, oh, can they do this? Oh, can they do this? It's more impressive to hold a team scoring 30 points a game to less than 10 points in back-to-back weeks.
Listen, Phil,
only giving up 7 and 9.
It's been a marvel to watch. Philadelphia's defense is on point right now. Thank you for the phone call, dude. Packers last week, Lions this week, and both those teams now had some soul searching to do. Packers came back, got a little lucky, got a Giants team that, despite the new coach, could not get the new coach bump because they failed to fire their defensive coordinator, Burl. The Giants.
That guy.
That was a fatal flaw of the plan because the defense is not very good, and the Packers end up winning that game. A squeaker of a game, but still end up winning.
Phil's right about that wind and the kickers. The kickers looked like they were on the verge of a nervous breakdown in that game. You had to be within 15 yards of that goalpost. That game particularly was defined by the wind. I think the Eagles game last night, the wind really, really bad. Because it was bad at my house. So I don't know. You're in Jersey, Maggie.
Yeah. No, it was a wind advisory all weekend. It was terrible. Ramon's in Indy. What's up, Ramon? Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, my favorite people. And thanks for taking my call. Hey, let's revel in a renaissance in the NFL. They've done everything they can to legislate defenses out, and defenses are dominating. Did you see how bad Patrick Mahomes looked?
Yeah.
Besides the Buffalo and Tampa Bay game, which I'm shocked. Todd Bowles, you're giving up 44 points in Tampa. I go back to the old, Doug and Tony Dungy days. They never gave up those kind of points. He needs to go back and reevaluate. But this is wonderful. But I'd say Denver, I want to see a new team. Remember, Denver hasn't won since what? The late 90s, I think, with Elway.
Yep.
I want to see a new team. Seattle's right there. Why are we in love with the Rams? What is it the media
Denver
and
won
the
with
narrative?
Peyton Manning, you'll remember, Ramon. Remember Peyton Manning ripped off one for Denver.
Oh, yeah, my fault. Yep. We lost Peyton. Yeah, we never like to give that here in Indianapolis.
Yeah, you wiped that away from the memory bank. Got it.
What is it with Matthew Stafford? Why do we crown him like this prince? He's like the king. Why does he never can face criticism? It's not like he's got 3, 4, 5 Super Bowls. I mean, he got one when he got lucky to get traded to a team that was already ready to win. Mm-hmm. I mean, why is he the darling and we beat up on Jalen Hurts? We beat up on people who are champions. Thank you.
Yeah, Ramon, I thought that Stafford played bad yesterday. I said it. I did not think he was good. I want to credit Seattle's defense, for harassing him a bit. He seemed off. Did he come through with a couple nice plays? Yeah, but overall, not a great game. Again, you force 4 turnovers, or Sam Darnold gifts you forced turnovers, however you want to put that. You should win this game by margin. And it's a credit to the Seahawks defense that they could not do that.
Really, I mean, you can break down all the numbers you want. The W is all that matters. Yeah, and I think
Rams won 5 in a row.
I think McVay and Sirianni both coached the same exact game last night. Like, you got to coach the game you're in, and that means they did not want Matthew Stafford throwing it all over the building. You're right. He was definitely off, but it didn't really matter. He has 2 interceptions on the year. Jalen Hurts has 1 interception on the year, and they have right now, if the season ended, I think they'd be the 1 and 2 seeds in the NFC. It's just conservative football. I think that's a new trend. Like, your quarterback has to throw the ball where only his guy can get it. Meanwhile, you see on the other side, Seattle was just trying to churn out yards, and they were doing that, but they were risking turnovers, and it killed them.
Maybe not in that specific game, but you're talking about defenses playing well and teams getting conservative on offense. Well, that may have worked when you had field goal kickers consistently hitting 55 yards and beyond. But now that the weather, at least in our neck of the woods, is getting a little dicier, I don't know if you want your field goal kickers. We're talking about the K-balls, where the kickers can now sort of whatever they do. Like, I don't know what they do exactly to them. I'm going to get myself in some trouble. Man, he's ready to go to record me and play drops for the end of time.
Deflategate 2.0.
Seriously. They're manipulating. Anyway, I say this is going to suck, but you know what I'm saying.
No, I don't. Go ahead.
Now that the weather's getting crazier in some parts of the world, you probably can't rely on those 55-yarders consistently. So maybe the offenses are going to have to pick it up a little bit.
No. Well, field goals are out. Haven't you seen the trend? Nobody wants to kick a field goal because if it goes in, you have to do the dynamic kickoff and give the other team the ball at the 45-yard line. So come playoff time, there are going to be no field goal attempts. Everybody's just going for it because that kickoff has completely changed the game. And those long field goals, forget it. You're just basically giving the other team the ball at midfield. There's not enough juice for the squeeze.
You know what's funny? There was a game yesterday. Now I'm forgetting what it was. It might have been the Eagles game. I can't remember where. They actually stopped a kick return at the 35. And I was like, nice job.
Oh, I know.
I was so used to it just basically automatically starting at the 40, the 45.
Well, the Eagles kicked one intentionally out of the back of the end zone. You never see that anymore. The ball, it's a different game because field position is so good after a field goal.
JT's in Atlanta. Good morning, JT.
Hey, good morning, people. Perloff, I hate to be that guy, right, that as an Eagles fan, after a win, I was kind of this way last week, but I watched that game and with utter frustration the entire game with the offense. And the previous caller, I feel like you guys were just comparing Hurts with Matthew Stafford. And I think that's just ridiculous. And you say, why would we talk about Matthew Stafford and not Jalen Hurts? He had 100 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the guy is missing wide open people. Like, the offense looks inept. It really looks bad. And you can think that, defense wins championships, but how long can you put the pressure on the defense and hope that they can hold up? Maybe. I mean, if this is the, 2002 Ravens and he's Trent Dilfer, fine. That's what you're telling me. But to say that, Matthew Stafford, who's was on 4 touchdowns, a game streak for, and why would we not talk about that? If Hurts did that, we would be just throwing him in the air and carrying him around on our shoulders. This offense is bad. And Sirianni, again, making crazy bonehead. Why are you going for it on the 20? It doesn't make any sense.
You have the tush push.
But it didn't work.
I know it didn't work, but normally it works. I was shocked. It had to work,
right? You're missing 2 linemen.
Yeah, that's true.
You're missing 2 linemen, and I think what happened, he got caught up. They both got hired in the same cycle. And he was just watching what's the name of go for it on every 4th down, and he's like, oh, yeah, I can be bold and believe in my team and whatever you want to call that. I call it bad coaching.
JT, they've been going for that.
I'm a little concerned.
JT, they've been going for that 4th and 1 all season long, right around that part of the field. All season long they've been doing it, and it always works. Yes, on the 29.
No, but it's time and possession, right? It's the time of the game, and it's not the right time. Like, you gave them a short field and made this game way closer than it had to be. You punt that away. Your defense has been playing great all night. I don't want to hear that kind of nonsense. If your defense is doing what it's doing, then you play the odds, kick the ball, and make them work the whole field. Don't give them a gimme field goal, and now all they need is a touchdown to tie the game. He just gave away 3 points for no reason.
JT,
I agree with you, JT.
Go for it on
with you.
You go for it on 4th down to help the defense. You saw in the Bills-Bucks game, when you don't go for it on 4th down and you punt the ball, you put all the pressure on the defense. Guess what the easiest play to defend is? When the defense is on the bench because the offense still has the ball. That tush push works 90% of the time.
I'm telling you, Pearl, did the defense
odds say go for it.
Did the defense look tired? Did they look gassed?
No,
they look hungry. They look like they could have played a next game after that. They were amazing.
So what's the fear of giving them ball at the 30 then? The Eagles, that was the right call, because if they make it 9 out of 10 times, if they make that, the defense doesn't even have to come back on the field, basically. It was normally most coaches would probably do the same thing.
I don't know. I felt better when the defense was on the field. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. They are so good.
Did you see Todd Bowles? Did you see Todd Bowles punt on 4th and 2?
Well, Todd Bowles was not playing the game he was in, because that turned into, in the second half, it was a shootout. How many lead changes were in that game? Todd Bowles was still playing that game like the score was 17-16 when the score was 37-32. Yeah. You cannot do that. And, he punted on a 4th and 2 and basically gifted the Bills a 2-score lead.
But anything's better than you.
I think being aggressive on 4th down is designed to help your defense. If you have a bad defense, then you don't want to punt.
How about this and taking Baker Mayfield out of the game yesterday at the end? I mean, I know it was crazy, or 35 seconds left or whatever, but
the guy's an idiot.
What if you do, 2 plays, say you get in the end zone, the Bills defense stinks, and then onside kick, and maybe, I don't know. I didn't love it. Big Friendly, I'm already getting text messages this morning from EJ that I've got videos I've got to look at in the break that are sent by you.
No. It wasn't supposed to be in the break. It was supposed to be during the show, but you guys can watch it during the break because it was for Daddy's cool bet I owed him.
Oh, all right. What do you got?
So it was
I haven't looked at it yet.
was a picture, and I'm not going to tell you. I sent the picture. I sent the video. You guys should put the video up because I think everybody would enjoy the video.
Okay.
Friendly, I'm going to be honest with you. Okay, so we do radio, and we never know exactly what people look like.
It's nothing. It's okay. I understand.
Dude, I kind of thought this is what you look like, to be honest. You got the bald head, the goatee, everything looking fly. This is what I thought you'd look like, dude. I'm going to be honest. I thought you'd be a little bigger.
I'm 6'4.5". Maggie, how much taller do you want me to be?
No, Friendly. I thought you were going to be like 400 pounds.
Come on now, Maggie Malone. I know I'm big friendly, but 350. Come on now.
Svelte.
And real quick, there's so many people. Daddy Cool, my man, EJ the Bionic EP, Little Big Swifty, the man I've been missing to talk to, Manny Wapo, my guy in charge. Now, real quick. Talk what you want about the Rams, but what you can't say is they're not 8-2 and one of the best teams in football. And Maggie Malone.
Yeah.
Why do people think that Matthew Stafford's going to throw for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns every game? It's not feasible in today's football because people watch film. Now, the Seattle Seahawks are a great football team. Sam, like I said, Yosemite Sam Donald is not the rootinest, tootinest, slangingest quarterback in the league.
No.
The moment he had pressure, he gave the ball back to the Rams because he'd rather give the Rams the ball than be tackled by them. So all you Niner fans coming out the house because you beat the Cardinals, all you people disrespecting Matthew Stafford and the Rams, you can't disrespect that 8-2. Daddy Cool, we're coming for your Eagles. What's your answer to that?
Well, I got to tell you right now, watching that Rams game, the Eagles are not going to pass the ball once against that team because they do not want Jared Verse in Jalen Hurts' lap. That defensive line is problematic, Friendly. But, hey, they beat them once. Explain that, dude.
Now, here's the thing, Daddy Cool.
Crazy play, yeah.
As of so far, I'm 0-3 to you with these Eagles. And I'll give you that.
All right.
One thing that I can honestly say that I was more proud of yesterday than anything was our defensive backs. We held JSN under 100 yards. Cooper Kupp had 2 catches. And Yosemite Sam Darnold didn't do nothing like they said he was. So I'm very impressed with our defensive backs. And I'm going to let you guys go. Maggie Malone.
Yeah.
Maggie Malone, Your Highness, can you please show the crowd that video?
Yes, we will send it to Kaplan. He's our Oz behind the scenes when it comes to video. Friendly, thank you so much. And this is what I thought Friendly might look. When someone calls themselves big,
I'm a bottom man
in this day and age.
Yeah,
I'm thinking you're four bills.
Oh yeah, I thought Big Friendly might be overweight, but he's super handsome.
Yeah,
man, you should be taking advice from this guy.
To be honest, Big Friendly talking about taking women on picnics and stuff. I kind of get it now.
That I never
go
understood.
where the women are.
Be within smelling range.
Do you know the Seahawks outgained the Rams 414 to 249?
Oh, keep going. They had time of possession. The Rams only had the ball for 22 minutes, and the Seahawks had the ball for almost 38 minutes in this game. In every statistical way, basically the Seahawks outgained them. It's just they couldn't get anything going.
And I know Sam Darnold's taking a lot of heat for 4 interceptions, and he should, but man, he threw some beautiful passes. That's the thing with Sam Darnold. It's a little better than last year. Remember the implosion in Week 18 and then in the playoffs? He had nothing. At least last night, he was the most dynamic quarterback on the field by a mile. He had a bunch of beautiful throws.
I know.
I thought they almost were going to win the game.
But imagine if he could have just played a little more buttoned up. They would have won the game.
I don't think Kubiak, you know how the Eagles are conservative and the Rams are conservative? I don't think Clint Kubiak's going to do that. I think he's going to keep on throwing. It's probably going to cost him.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Guys, let us know what you're thinking about that Rams-Seahawks game from yesterday. Also, the Eagles, are they the best team in the NFL? 2 big wins back-to-back last week, in Lambeau last night at home against the Lions. Really made the Lions look just straight up impotent on offense. All right, coming up, Shedeur. On the field, on your television, live and in living color. Maggie and Perloff Show.
I got to get to work. I love you.
You're in a 5-minute break. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. What a weekend. We'll get to college in just a little bit. Oklahoma upset Alabama. Got some crazy, crazy scenarios for the college football playoff. We'll get to that in just a moment. But this Rams-Seahawks game, which was narrowly won by the Rams, despite the Seahawks basically winning every statistical category except maybe the most important one, turnovers, Pearl, where they had 4 interceptions thrown by Sam Darnold. Besides that, the Seahawks were dominant in every other facet of the game. But the Rams win. Rams have won 5 in a row. They're leading the NFC West. Your Philadelphia Eagles are leading the NFC overall. And I'm not really sure who the best team in football is because it seems like there's no teams that actually have a balance between offense and defense. Either you have one side of the ball that's awesome and the other side of the ball, it's kind of a liability.
Well, I mean, in general, though, I wouldn't call the Rams offense a liability. It's pretty awesome.
Yesterday they were.
Yeah. Well, again, when the game was in the balance, they stormed. Those first 2 touchdown drives were incredibly impressive. And I just think they turtled up. You know, McVay can get really conservative.
Yeah, he does.
And their run game's not awesome. The unit that really scares me is that defensive line. Wow. They were dropping a lot of guys back and still getting a ton of pressure on Sam Darnold. So some of the picks, there was 9 defensive backs that were flooding the zone. I couldn't believe that there were so many Rams defenders. It looked like they had 13 guys on there. That's a guy, Chris Shula, who I think will get a head coaching job, their defensive coordinator. And it's interesting, the Eagles are the same way. Now their defense is elite. So I think it's pretty clearly the Rams and the Eagles. I don't know which team is better, but at least we know that.
Let's get to Andrew Bogish, who's got the latest headlines for us. Good morning, Bogues.
Oh, hey, guys. Good morning. Your headlines are sponsored by Prize Picks, the hard-hitting football action even better with Prize Picks. Download Prize Picks. Use code PRIMETIME.
What about Shiloh?
Oh, yeah, right by Shiloh. Get $50 bonus credit instantly when you play $5. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details. As you've been discussing, full Dan Campbell experience last night in Philadelphia, and it wasn't that fun for Lions fans. 5 fourth-down gambles, 0 wins.
You know, the margin for error is so small, man. You don't have the luxury. Like, we get in the red zone, we have to score a touchdown, man. We can't come away not scoring 7 there. We have to convert at least 2 or 3 of those fourth downs. You have to, and we were a little off. We just couldn't get our rhythm there.
His whole offense had no rhythm at all, courtesy of this Philly defense. Jared Goff, 5 passes, knocked down at the line of scrimmage. He was sacked twice, bothered all night long by Nick Sirianni's defense.
So we were able to get some early pressure on him and get some hits on him. Those are always going to affect quarterbacks, so we did a really good job there as a defensive front. I think that's 2 games, actually 3 games in a row where it's been humming up front.
So the Eagles grind out a 16-9 win, once again doing very little on offense. A Jalen Hurts tush-push late second quarter put them in front. They stayed there the rest of the way. However they get there, they have 5 more wins than anybody else in the NFC East this morning. They apparently have a 50% chance at the NFC's top seed now, courtesy of this victory. Yay for Perloff.
Yay.
Yeah. There was
we're thrilled for you.
Really, so good to see it. There was a poll question last week asking why the Niners were bringing back Brock Purdy from his nagging toe injury. This is probably why.
Purdy is under center. Purdy doesn't like what he sees. He'll call a different play here. Adjust use check right into the boundary. Ball set on the right hash. Shotgun snap. 5-man rush for Purdy. Steps up into the pocket. Throws a deep ball downfield. Kittle makes the catch over the shoulder. Near pile on. Into the end zone. Touchdown.
Niners. Purdy threw 3 touchdowns as San Francisco roughed up the Cardinals in Arizona 41-22. Arizona committing 17 penalties while losing for the 6th time in 7 games.
Real question. Could Andrew Perloff starting for the Niners have won that game?
No.
Definitely.
No.
Well, they got a 7-0 lead on the kickoff. I think I could have won. I definitely could have. I'm dead serious. Just throw maybe 2 screen passes. There's no way the Cardinals could have won that game.
Well, here's the thing. The last time that they played the Cardinals was week 3, I believe, and the score was 16-15. So a little bit tighter. I don't remember actually who started that game. Mac Jones. So Mac Jones played that game, and the score was a 1-point win by San Francisco. And yesterday they played again, and it was I can't do the math. What was it? What was the final score yesterday? You just read
41-22.
41-22. Yeah. So just a lot more comfortable of a win. By the way, Jacoby Brissett threw the ball. Had 57 passing attempts.
Most completions in NFL history.
Was that right?
47, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
So the Brock Purdy and the San Francisco offense only had 281 yards. You're telling me Andrew Perloff could not get that offense at
I am vehemently telling you that.
My point
dropped
is,
back 57 times against an NFL pass rush. There's no way you're surviving that game.
I mean, the Niners had that. It was specialty. There are a lot of things going on. That was easy work for Brock Purdy. Mac Jones would have won the game with the same exact score. That game didn't prove anything. The Cardinals, God bless them, they have mailed it in for the year. They're done.
I shouldn't have been disappointed, but I really was disappointed at how much they mailed it in because they were a pesky team and a feisty team early in the season. They have no fight now. 2 weeks in a row, they just rolled over.
Added to another job opening, most likely.
Has to be, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. You can try to be a little consistent and give maybe the benefit of the doubt. You need a new quarterback. That's obvious.
Well, I don't think it's a done. I mean, Gannon seems to be well liked, and you're right. He has no quarterback. So how do you? I mean, they have a Kyler Murray, Jacoby Brissett combo. Give him a strong quarterback. Maybe go free agent.
From the Bengals, I'm looking at Gannon for defensive coordinator.
Oh, maybe. But here's the thing. Is he that well liked? His own team fined him $100,000 because he chewed out one of their players. Now, granted, I thought Amani DiMarcado deserved to get chewed out because he dropped the ball at the goal line like a dope, but it was a bad look, and his own team fined him. So do they actually like him?
I don't. Yeah, I mean, that play, I'm not sure that tells the whole story of Jonathan Gannon. I think they kind of like him. I do too. I would be shocked beyond belief if he kept his job. I wouldn't be shocked if he was fired either.
Quickly from the NBA last night, the Mavericks took a thriller from the Blazers, 138-133 in overtime. Cooper Flagg had 21 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. And I guess I'm going to tease a future update. Draymond Green at it again last night. We'll get to that mini fan confrontation during the Warriors win in New Orleans last night. So
to be honest,
you got that to look forward to this morning.
I can't wait. I feel like at this point, is Draymond doing this for the content for the podcast? I know he's unhinged and he's been doing it for years and years, but now I think it's just for more fodder for the pod.
I know it happened on Friday, but watching him trash talk Victor Wembanyama and then get absolutely destroyed at the rim.
He's a foot shorter.
The refs calling that play off, they should all be suspended. That was a disgrace. I mean, that dunk was one of the best plays of the year.
Oh, yeah.
And then they took it away on a ticket. I mean, come on. That was ridiculous. But I enjoyed seeing him get embarrassed like that. That was awesome.
Perloff could do that. Talk trash to Wemby and get dunked on like Draymond.
Be a parking cone for Wemby.
Yeah, you couldn't do Brock Purdy's numbers from yesterday.
Well, I didn't need to do Brock. Brock Purdy could have handed the ball off every single play, and they would still win by 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
I mean, this gets back to the Mac Jones, Brock Purdy thing. I don't want that to be any confirmation of what Brock Purdy did take a 30-yard sack because Brock Purdy runs around backwards, ShedeurSanders style.
Oh, man.
It is weird seeing how short he is compared to Mac Jones. Like, when he was back out there yesterday, I was like, wow, why is the Niners quarterback so short? I was like, well, I guess Mac Jones is, I think, a legit 6'5". So.
Well, that's why Brock Purdy was a 7th-round pick and Mac Jones was a 1st-round
exactly.
pick. But obviously, there was a failure there on some other things. Mac Jones is going to cash in this offseason. Wait, did he try to sign a 2-year deal with the 49ers? He may have. That's a bad job. Because think about it, he would probably be the top quarterback on the market. The college quarterbacks are not looking great. You just mentioned, could Arizona go with some kind of veteran?
But he's a trade candidate now. That's a great salary. So anybody would take him on now.
It's like $8 million or something.
Now the Niners want to trade him considering how cheap he is. I don't know, but in theory, he could be a steal.
He's going to have a huge market.
Yeah.
I mean, the Purdy-Kittle connection, though, is legit. And this was, I think, the first time they were on the field together since week 1. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Who's the best team in the NFL? Easy question, but not an easy answer. Coming up, If the playoffs started today, Kansas City would be on the outside looking in. How did they lose yesterday, and what does it mean for them moving forward? It's the Maggie Perloff Show.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. 15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
At the 25, an attempt of 35 yards against Kansas City. I won't even mention it. Snap placement, kick on the way, and it is good! They don't block this one like last year in Kansas City.
That was the Broncos radio network. That was funny. I'm not even going to mention it. Last year, blocked field goal. Pearl kept Kansas City in the lead for the division. They've won the division 9 years in a row, but now there's a new show in town, and that would be the Denver Broncos. Welcome to our show. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. 22-19 was the final score yesterday from Mile High. And we can get into the Broncos. The passing attack obviously looking very good yesterday. Bo Nix clearly has developed some really good chemistry with Troy Franklin, his former college teammate, obviously Cortland Sutton. Pearl. It was a really nice passing game because the run game really wasn't working against this Chiefs front. But the bigger question is, what's going on with the Chiefs? They're 5-5. They're 1-4 away from Arrowhead. And if the playoffs started today, again, we're saying this, the playoffs started today, they'd be on the outside looking in.
Yeah, but I saw this stat this morning on ESPN.
Yeah.
They have a high percentage chance of winning every game they're in from now on, even against these good teams. They're going to be pretty heavily favored against the Colts, the Cowboys, the Texans, and the Chargers, and then they finish up the season with a really easy schedule. So there's a great chance.
The Broncos again, though. They have to play the Broncos second time.
I think I'd be shocked if that Broncos team could beat them in KC. Shocked. Beyond shocked. Because even yesterday, I see the Broncos with that 9-2 record. It is the thinnest 9-2. So I just think that the Chiefs are going to be heard from. Maybe they miss the playoffs, but I think it's going to be very close, and I think they're going to make a run. I'm not really, believe it or not, I'm not even worried about them after yesterday. Vance Joseph, somehow the Broncos defensive coordinator, completely stymied Andy Reid. I don't know how he did it, but they didn't know if the blitz was coming or the blitz wasn't coming. It was very impressive. I still have faith in the Chiefs. Are you? Where's your faith level at?
All right. Well, wavering, because here's the thing: the Chiefs deserve the benefit of the doubt that, as far as them missing the playoffs, like, I'll believe it when I see it. And as far as the playoff simulator goes, here's some numbers behind it. So Chiefs right now have a 57% chance to make the playoffs. So not terrible, right? 57%. You probably like it a little higher. But if they lose to the Colts next week, it goes down to 40%. And I don't know if you can actually say these are going to be gimme games, whether they're favored or not. They were slightly favored yesterday in Denver, and they lost that game. The Texans, Cowboys have a terrible defense. We'll see what happens there. But to me, the Texans somehow stayed alive yesterday. Their defense is nails. It's just the offense is not very good. The Chargers no-showed yesterday, but that could have been a schedule loss, having to come to the East Coast, I believe, twice in the last 3 weeks. And that was just a 0 game. And then they play the Broncos again, and the Broncos have all the motivation in the world to totally bury them. And maybe Sean Payton has figured something out here.
I think the Cowboys game might be the most dangerous of the list you just did, because the Colts going outside is obviously problematic. Going to Dallas, we'll see how Dallas is going to be a challenge for the Eagles next week. And then the Texans going outside, you wouldn't think they have a chance there. And then the Chargers are getting so beat up. I honestly... If they can't beat the Colts in Arrowhead, then what are we doing here? Then there's something desperately wrong. But I think when the Chiefs need to turn it on, they can turn it on, especially at home. I don't know how, for example, Indy and Houston win those games.
I know, but you said that before this game. You were like, if they need to turn it on, they need to turn it on. And they were in a dogfight.
I'm sorry, but I also said if they lose this game, it's not over. Like everybody, and that playoff predictor that you cited, was people were citing that a lot. It's like, the Chiefs can lose this game and still be in almost the same position as they were if they win the game, because everyone's assuming they win these home games.
Yeah, pretty much. I'll give you that. I guess here's my thing about the Chiefs, right? I always think of them as like they're our dynasty right now this era's dynasty.
Sure.
And when the Patriots were doing it, right? The Patriots were the 20-year dynasty, basically, but they did go 9 seasons in between Super Bowl wins. But they were a playoff team, and I know that they had an easy run through the division through all those years, and the Chiefs enjoyed that also up until this year. But to me, it's like to not even make the playoffs would be such a colossal failure for them. And listen, they've banked 3 Super Bowls, so how can you say it's really a failure? But to me, it's not like you have a crazy injury. You know, it's not Patrick Mahomes, knock on wood. Patrick Mahomes healthy. Travis Kelce, this is it, right? This is the swan song season. This is supposed to be the go out on top year. You know, Chris Jones is healthy. Like, you've got your guys in there who are healthy.
Yeah,
to
but
not
you
make
started
the playoffs is just like unconscionable. And Rashee Rice is back.
Yeah, but they started the season without Rashee Rice, and he didn't really know who to throw the ball to. Travis Kelce started the season somewhat slow, so they lost they started out 0-2. They started out 2-3. If they were the same team they are now early in the season, that slow start is going to doom them. But that being said, I don't think you would do it because 57% would favor me. I would do a big show bet on the Chiefs making the playoffs. I really think. I saw a pretty good team. Denver's good. Denver's defense is really
very good. They're leading the AFC.
I don't think anyone's defense gets to them like that, and I don't think Denver beats them twice in Arrowhead because that game was so close. Did you think the Chiefs were going to win when they went ahead at the end on the Kelce was amazing yesterday. I thought, okay, well, the Chiefs won that game. I think even they were shocked to lose that game.
I'm shocked anytime Patrick Mahomes gets the football and it goes 3 and out. I'm just always shocked by that. I was even more stunned that it happened in the fourth quarter in a tie game. They score the touchdown. You're right. They take the 19-16 lead. And then Denver comes back with the field goal. So now it's 19-19. Yeah. And there's 4 minutes left. I thought for a second, I'm like, wait, this is too much time. Mahomes is going to score too quickly. And it's going to give Denver another opportunity. And instead, they go 3 and out with 2 incompletions and then a sack. And it was just they couldn't even possibly have even thought about going for it on fourth down because they were in such disadvantage as far as they were at their own 15.
I mean,
basically their own 26 maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I know the math doesn't work out, but missing that extra point,
it got blocked.
Yeah, that felt like a big deal for some reason. I don't know if it would have made a difference. They would have been up. The Broncos would have had to go for a touchdown instead of the tying field goal. That changed a lot.
That is true.
Yeah, so I think Kansas City, you would think logically gets them at home. Because these teams seem very, very well matched, evenly balanced. I don't think that if the Broncos beat the Chiefs twice, then they deserve to win this division. Because then there's going to be some noise. But the Broncos are winning too close, Maggie. They are, like the Giants win. This is not a Super Bowl formula to edge everybody in every game and come back. I still am not convinced that they are a true Super Bowl contender. Maybe I'm going to be, confetti's going to be falling on the Broncos,
like,
and then I'll be convinced.
I'm not sure.
And I sometimes do this with young teams. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard to believe in this team the way they're winning.
Yeah, but can I bring something up? They have a home field advantage that is pretty unbelievable. Like they have. High altitude is the true home field advantage because that Kansas City defense did look tired at the end, to me. And,
yeah, no doubt.
And so they have this true home field, and if they get home field throughout the playoffs, I do think it will help them. But you're right. I mean, they're squeaking by. These fourth quarter comebacks have been insane. The same thing with the Bears yesterday. Mm-hmm. Bears end up winning yet another game, this time on a last-second field goal. And they're now in first place in the NFC North, but you're like, how are they doing it? It feels not smoke and mirrors, but it feels like a little bit luck on their side.
Absolutely.
Maybe some good coaching. Let's hear from Patrick Mahomes. Pearly says the division race probably over, conceding the AFC West, but the wild card, now that's another story.
Obviously, it's going to be tough to get back in the division race, but at the end of the day, all the goal is to get into the playoffs and try to make a run at it. And all you can focus on is next week. We got to learn from this one as much as possible. Got to keep moving forward. That's what this league's all about.
Okay, so obviously, they're going to have to take somebody is going to have to fall out. Now, Jacksonville, the Chargers, Pittsburgh Steelers, we have yet to talk about Aaron Rodgers' wrist injury from yesterday. It's the non-throwing wrist, kept him out of the second half. And there was early reports that he may have a small fracture
in his wrist.
Yeah. But we'll get to that in a moment. But Kansas City, what I'm trying to get at is in the wild card, they are going to have some obstacles to climb over because Buffalo right now is the first wild card spot. then the Chargers, then Jacksonville.
Well,
and Houston's right before them, and Houston actually wins the tiebreaker head-to-head over Kansas City because of a couple different things.
Right, but Kansas City has to play Houston, I think.
That's true.
Right, so they that loss to Jacksonville could end up sinking them, but they play the Chargers too, so they can hopefully knock them out for the Chiefs. The Bills, with that easy schedule, they're clearly going to make it in. So those are the two teams they have to target, the Chargers and the Jags, and they got to watch out for the team that does not win the AFC North, the Steelers or the Ravens. But it's definitely doable. I mean, they six losses, they'll be fine. But this is a lot of pressure. I think they step up. Again, maybe I'm just a believer because of the last, what did you say, 9 years?
Yep, 9 years.
And Patrick Mahomes actually was pretty good yesterday. I feel like against Denver, there was a lot of plays, big plays, where he got fooled by the defense. There's no doubt. But you did see the bones of a good offense. Because Kelsey is great. He's somewhat comfortable with these wide receivers. The run game is not what you want it to be. I still have total faith in the Chiefs. In fact, I am going to place a future bet on the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl right now.
Wow. All right. You do that. I'm going to take George in L.A. wants to talk about the Rams. George, good morning.
Yeah, hey, good morning, guys. To me, it comes down to two things. I think McVay realized that he just wanted Stafford to be a game manager yesterday. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. And what's his name? Sam threw 4 interceptions.
Yep.
And Sam might have been better off just taking the sack, but that's the way it goes. But here's a big thing, too. That 1 interception, the very next play, Puka, for the first time in his career, fumbled, gave the ball right back. Rams had a chance in the first quarter to kind of bury them, and they didn't. And I give the Seahawks defense a lot of credit. But as I was...
Oh, George, we lost you. I think you're going through it. Oh, got to put you on hold there. EJ, what else did George want to say? Or you basically got it all there?
I mean, that the defense stepped up in a way that, the offense wasn't able to necessarily click on all cylinders, but you saw the Rams defense step up, and that's been, a story kind of what we've seen from the Rams the last few years.
That Puka fumble he's absolutely right. It felt like the Rams were going to blow him out early in the game because the Seahawks were turning the ball over left and right.
Of course.
But I do think something happens when you get an early lead. For some reason, McVay, and he's done this on other games this season, has really gotten conservative with a lead. I think he has a lot of faith in that defense.
All right, so you make your bet here on the
Well, my odds
Chiefs?
are 10-1 right now. I kind of thought I would do better than that. I'm surprised. On DraftKings, because I know on other books, the Eagles are the Super Bowl favorite. On DraftKings, the Rams are still the Super Bowl favorite. Then Eagles, then Bills, then Colts, and Seahawks, and Chiefs are tied for 5th at 10-1.
Oof. That was not how it was 3 days ago.
Yeah, it's so funny that the Chiefs are 10-1. Where are the Rams?
You said they're leading.
Oh, they're leading. No wonder. Okay, well, that explains that. Chiefs at 10-1 over the Lions, the Ravens, the Broncos, the Patriots. So I think that people looked at that Seahawks game and said, whoa, they played the worst game of the year, and they still were right there with the Rams. Maybe there's some concern about the Rams. I would like the Chiefs at 10-1. The Bills, I still think the Bills are going to be right there. I think the Bills and Chiefs are possibly going to play in the AFC title game again in Buffalo.
Well, if you'd asked me, I don't know about that, but if you had asked me yesterday in the first half of the game how I felt about the Bills, it was miserable. Got on the treadmill, things started turning around.
I saw your Twitter page. I saw.
Yeah, listen, I'm not saying it's about me. It's not. It's about them. I'm not part of the team, goodness knows. But guys, sacrifice. Whatever it takes for as long as it takes me, as long as it takes the Bills into the W column, because I walked for 82 minutes yesterday.
Nice.
I walked 4 miles watching the second half of that game. Now, I wasn't at a rigorous speed.
You have shin splints after that? That's a long time to walk.
Yeah, I mean, I was feeling it.
Not run, walk.
No, I was walking.
I'm saying, I think walking sometimes, my shins hurt more when I walk that long than when I run.
So this one,
let's not pretend she just won the marathon. She walked for 85 minutes.
I'm a hero and a warrior, and you can send all of your flowers towards me. But
game ball, Maggie Gray.
That's an hour and 25 minutes. This is not an impressive physical feat. I'm sorry, EJ. You're making it seem like she just finished the Ironman. You walked for 85 minutes.
I mean, if you're speed walking, that's not nothing.
Well. I was not speed walking.
Where'd you get speed walking from?
That's what I assumed. I don't know. That was the point of all this.
Well, in other times in my life, I would do the 4.0 speed on the 4.0 incline, which is no joke.
Yeah.
This I was not doing. I was not doing that yesterday. I was doing a 2.0 incline.
All right, take away the game ball, give it back to Josh Allen.
At a 3.5 foot speed. Listen, I'm in the lab, guys. I'm watching 6 games at once. I really can't be doing.
You call your living room the lab?
It's actually our bedroom.
Oh, the bedroom, the lab.
The lab. That's what I
think
get.
That's what your husband calls it too.
Things are bubbling.
Experiments everywhere.
Things spilling. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I could take that a lot of places. But yes,
trial and error.
The treadmill lab. We should probably just put it in the basement.
Well, by the way,
I don't have 2 TVs in the
Why
basement.
would you not have faith in the Bills? They showed exactly how they advance. Their quarterback is 280 pounds and cannot be hurt running. Just run Josh Allen and boom,
Yeah.
AFC title game.
No, I mean, red zone, it works. But listen, let's be honest.
It worked everywhere. He was running all over Miami, just fumbled the ball.
If Tampa Bay had any of their offensive weapons besides Ibuka healthy, they probably win that game.
No. I mean, they
Bills
didn't stop.
defense is
They
still
could
bad.
stop Buffalo once.
That's true. But the Bills' defense is also bad, and they kind of tightened up a little bit yesterday. Tiny, itsy-bitsy. 888-710-4ISN. We have so many games to get to, guys, including a major debut. A surprise debut. Did not think we were getting a ShedeurSanders yesterday, but lo and behold, there he was. How did it go, and what's everyone going to be talking about at the water cooler? We will tell you next. M&P.
You're in a 5-minute break.
All right. I don't see anything from Pierno, so.
You idiots! I'll give it to you now. The stuffing serves as the bread. You're going to have...
I think it's time to play Gloria Karaoke. Pete the Body Bilotti, cue the music.
Gloria, you're always on the run now, running after somebody. You gotta get him somehow. I think you gotta slow down before you start to blow it. I think you're headed for a breakdown, so be careful not to show it. You really don't remember. Wasn't something that he said. All the voices in your head calling Gloria, Gloria. Don't you think you're falling? If everybody wants you, why isn't anybody calling? You don't have to answer.
Don't they have a porta-john on site, Shep? Man, they got paws, man. They can't even open up that porta-john. I gotta go over there. I gotta walk these guys off the construction site, man.
Hey, how about Kyrie?
So ridiculous.
Did you ever know it was a bunch of terriers that built Levittown? They had their very own paws back in 1962, man.
Good morning, Jody.
Saturday's lunch.
Which lunch?
Always have some big wins. At least they can hope for a Texas-sized miracle to get in.
Before he dies.
Let's keep it going. Come on.
He looks like the penguin.
I can't talk.
More than Katie Lee.
Pink and red. Got about a minute left.
Sure.
You want to sing anything for
Yeah,
us?
sure. I know you guys play the Perfect Strangers theme on Friday, so maybe I'll give you a little bit of that.
Yeah.
And sometimes the world looks perfect, nothing to rearrange. Sometimes you just get a feeling like you need some kind of change. No matter what the odds are this time, nothing's gonna stand in my way. This flame in my heart, like a long-lost friend, it's every dark street a light at the end.
You freeze.
Standing tall on the wings of my dreams.
You freeze.
Rise and fall on the wings of my dreams. Rain and thunder, wind and haze, I'm bound for better days. It's my life, my dream, nothing's gonna stop me now. Bum, 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 bum.
Push formation. Mark Andrews under center. Takes the snap. Wheels
Oh,
out.
he's gone.
He rolls on his own. He's to the 30. Andrews to the 20. 10, 5. Touchdown, Ravens. Oh, what a creative call. And Mark Andrews goes from the push to the big man sprint. And the Ravens have the lead.
Great call there from Ravens Radio. Sorry, Pearl, this is your comeback. 23-16, though, is the final score. And the Ravens needed every part of that creativity to come up with a W against the Browns, whose defense is so lights out and is being colossally wasted because their quarterback situation goes from bad to worse. Yesterday, Dylan Gabriel was not very good. He gets concussed. He's out for the second half, and we get ShedeurSanders on our television screens live in an NFL game, and it was rough.
Yeah, that was bad. He's got to learn to throw the ball away, obviously. And he did not. I think he was trying to make a play. He came in, he was so fired up, and I got to admit, I felt the energy. I'm like, yes, Shedeur time. Getting the crowd totally fired up. That Cleveland crowd was on fire. It reminds me so much of Johnny Manziel's first game as a Brown. The entire Browns nation was so excited, and then he came out. It was just awful. Shedeur looked bad, but again, he didn't have any time to game prep. Dylan Gabriel didn't look much better in that game. I felt like the Ravens were always going to win it, even though they were trailing for most of the game. You're right about wasting Myles Garrett, but listen, he's a fifth-round pick. That's what happens. I think that he could be better with a little more game planning. They have to put – I don't know why they were passing it so much with Shedeur.
Well,
like, why were they –
the run game couldn't get anything going either.
Still with the lead, just run into the line 3 times and punt. I don't know why they dropped him back. He threw 16 passes. That was a bad – I mean, he dropped back 16 times. That was a bad idea. I would have been much more conservative. I felt like the excitement even got to the coaching staff, which was dumb.
Yeah, ShedeurSanders' final line, 4 for 16, 47 yards, no touchdowns, but did have an interception, took 2 pretty big sacks. He had basically one kind of good, memorable throw. One was to Jerry Jeudy, a quick 5-yard out route where Jeudy did a lot of work to get a first down. And the other was like a nice, chunk play pass. But whatever that internal clock is they talk about with quarterbacks, ShedeurSanders don't have it yet. And I don't know if does a week of prep work help that? Maybe. He's had 0 first-team reps. And, he was definitely unprepared, which is funny because he is the backup quarterback in this situation, right? Like, you are always one snap away from having to be the starter, but he looked like really, lost out there.
Yeah, and honestly, I thought Dylan Gabriel, they don't really know how to call plays for him either. Maybe it's the lack of ability of their quarterbacks. But I think Shedeur, if he starts next week, I don't know what they've said.
No, they said Gabriel is going to be the guy.
But isn't he in the protocol?
He's got a past concussion protocol, but Stefanski was talking about going back to him.
Oh, man, I don't like when coaches say that when the guy's officially in the protocol. But that being said, they need a better plan for Shedeur. They can't have him dropping. How many steps back was he doing 5-step drops? And they just have to have a quick passing offense, if anything, and tell Shedeur, get rid of the ball. And if it's not there, just throw it out of bounds. How hard is that for a coach to tell a guy?
Well, I mean, it was fire. He was like under fire is kind of what it felt like. You could see just how, he was just bewildered. But here's my question. Like Cleveland, yesterday's game made me appreciate Cleveland's defense even more than I already did. Because they've had a couple stinkers this year, but I could not believe the Ravens couldn't take control of this game. I mean, they could not. They needed that Mark Andrews bailing out of a tush-push call and running down the sideline for a touchdown to actually, break a tie in this game. Like that. Basically, the Browns were down to their 4th-string quarterback if you go to who they started camp with, maybe 5th string. And the Ravens are supposed to be this sleeping giant of a team, and they could not get any separation till the very end.
Don't the Browns always beat the Ravens once? Isn't that their jam?
But they shouldn't. Like, Lamar Jackson was 14 for 25 and 193 yards, 2 interceptions. He didn't throw any touchdowns yesterday.
The dumbest football team.
So actually, I'm sorry. The Ravens did beat them twice last year, but the year before, they've split every other year with Lamar Jackson there, basically. The Brown, you know how the Browns are. They always win games like this.
The Super Bowl if they were only team in the NFL.
Remember when they beat the Steelers last year with Jameis? That was this game.
Oh, man, that was peak Browns football.
Snow game?
They will watch them win one or two of these games that make no sense against an AFC North team. It doesn't, and of course, it never means anything. I was not surprised that the Ravens had a dogfight on their hand because this is just AFC North, and Myles Garrett is fantastic. I don't know what Browns are. At least give them this, Maggie. They're clearing the deck to get a new quarterback. Like if there was any doubt, Dylan Gabriel, ShedeurSanders is going to get the team next year. That doubt is gone.
That is true. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Are we being too hard on ShedeurSanders? I mean,
they've had 35 quarterbacks. All of them were losers.
Totally. It's funny, like Kevin Stefanski, the offensive whiz.
Wow. He's not even calling the plays now.
No, he's not. Tommy Reese.
Give
Stefanski a real quarterback. I mean, if Stefanski doesn't get a head coaching job, man, I want that guy for the Eagles offensive coordinator.
Does he get
every
blame
team
for
is
what
saying
happened
that.
to Deshaun Watson? I don't give it to him, but I mean, he did get Deshaun Watson. He did get a franchise quarterback, and Deshaun Watson never looked worse than playing under Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah, but then Joe Flacco, look, Deshaun Watson was never healthy for more than like 4 weeks in a row. He never got a chance to get a rhythm going. And Deshaun actually looked good in 1 or 2 games before his injury. Remember he won that game where
he was running around
scrambled like crazy?
Yeah, I mean, that wasn't the offense. That was, I'm just going to run for my life and try to make this crazy comeback. That was against the Ravens. That was his best game as a Brown.
I'm wondering, does Jim Schwartz get any love? We've already seen the Jim Schwartz show. Like he was already a head coach multiple times, right? Lions and did he have a second one? No, I can't remember.
He might have been an interim.
Maybe.
Any love for what?
Like
for head coaching?
I don't know. I mean, Steve Spagnuolo is a candidate for Manny's Giants. Why not Jim Schwartz? I know Spags has a history with the Giants, but still, it's a great defense. It keeps them weirdly in these games when they are getting absolutely zero from the quarterback position. Speaking of Manny's Giants.
Just one stint for Jim Schwartz as a head coach with the Lions.
Thank you. Well, Manny's going to be pulling a little double duty for us today. We're shuffling some things around. And Manny's going to be on updates. Are you starting with what happened yesterday at MetLife Stadium?
No, God, no. That'd be an awful idea. I'm sponsored, starting by telling you that we're sponsored by Progressive Insurance. The annual Progressive Keys to Progress program provides vehicles to deserving veterans, helping our heroes drive their lives forward. Learn more at keys2progressive.com. Steelers cornerback Jalen Ramsey, he was ejected on Sunday for throwing a punch at Bengals wideout Jamar Chase. Why did you feel the need to do that, Jalen?
He spit on me, so it's up. I don't give a about football after that.
Oh.
Respectfully. I'm always going to be all for trash talking, stuff like that. I actually enjoy that part of the game. I think people know that.
Well, that's gross. Well, Jamar, did you spit on him?
I ain't never opened my mouth to that guy.
So what do you think prompted the reaction from him?
Well, he don't like some of the words I told him.
What are you saying?
I ain't spit on nobody.
Yeah, well, Jamar, Fox 19, Cincinnati had a field-level view of some spittle coming out of your mouth, and, that made its ways around social media and it went trending.
I mean, I thought it was more like a Hawk Tua situation. That seemed like a lot of spit.
It did seem like an inordinate amount. It wasn't just
Does he not think he's going to get caught?
I mean, there's 37,000 cameras at NFL stadiums nowadays. I don't understand why he didn't think he would get caught.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like spit. Maybe there's some kind of weird, I don't know. Maybe our eyes are deceiving us.
No, it was spit.
But how about this? If he gets suspended now for the next game, which is likely,
has to happen now because of what happened with Jalen Carter, I think.
Well, Carter, right, was
right. He got thrown
out of the game, so they kind of counted that as the suspension.
But now that there was no ejection, then he has to get suspended, I think.
I would think so. And so, how about who's next? Patriots. Bengals, Patriots. Patriots probably win that game anyway, Pearl, but things got a lot easier for them if they don't have to cover Jamar Chase.
How easy can it get? I mean, the Bengals look terrible again.
They did.
They've rolled over. I don't think people are covering this the right way. There was such a dirty hit by Jalen Ramsey early in the game. Chase wanted to take his helmet off and fight him right there. And it's funny because Ramsey then called him a bad word, saying he was soft. Chase wanted to start a fight, and I was disappointed. The Bengals, there should have been a brawl. I mean, I'm not advocating for a brawl. It should have been a brawl early in the game, or they should have designed a crackback to get Ramsey again.
Ramsey said he did. They did. Ramsey's mentioned how there was a part in the game where they did a crackback, and then he got up and talked to him, and then that's when apparently Chase had taken off his face, his mouthpiece off of his face mask. So they had multiple interactions during this game.
It started with this dirty hit, and the officials, of course, are clueless. I mean, they're just trying to get through a day. They had no idea. This one, because Ramsey's a lot bigger now than he used to be too. You know, it's like when he puts a hit on you, it's a real deal. He's more of a safety. I mean, this was a classic AFC North. It reminded me, it was the inverse, but I thought they should have done a juju where they would take out Vontaze Burfict because it was such a bad hit on their star player. Very disappointing, the Bengals, by the way. They should have all been on the Steelers.
I think you have seen what's gone on with the Bengals. It's just too much. And the idea that Joe Burrow now is going to come back to this, for what?
I think the team is probably looking around at Trey Hendrickson and saying, this situation is exactly why I'm not going to sell out for this team. I mean, the cheapness, I think, has gotten to everybody now. Not obviously the receivers got paid, but generally, I think the Bengals have given up on this team. And you brought it up, I think, almost a year and a half ago. Is Joe Burrow going to sit here in this town forever with the way the team is playing?
I mean, we talked about this, right? Of all the big franchise quarterbacks who have gotten paid, who would be the most likely to NBA style force their way out? And listen, we saw it with Carson Palmer. He was like, enough, I'm not doing this. Your guy, Andy Dalton, did hang around, but they were making the playoffs consistently.
No. But I don't think Andy Dalton was as in demand as a Joe Burrow or a Carson Palmer would be. Actually, Palmer wasn't Joe Burrow is one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. Any team would take him.
I mean, some people think he's top 2.
My displeasure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Meanwhile, the Bengals, if they say they win out the rest of their games, they don't even have more than a 3% chance to make the playoffs. It's over.
It's over.
Yeah.
The Steelers, they picked up the victory yesterday, 34-12. Aaron Rodgers injured in the win. More on that in just a bit. At around 10:15 yesterday morning, you guys, I thought about my Aztec ancestors. Would the Spanish invade us for sending the Commanders and the Dolphins to Madrid? It was a kicking fest at the Santiago Bernabeu. It was 6-6 at the half, but it would be treated to an overtime finish.
He's going to have the ball spotted at the 19-yard line, a 29-yard kick for the Dolphins. For all the marbles in Madrid. Snap and hold are good, and the kick is good. Miami win it in the Spanish capital. Overtime for the second time in 2 weeks in the international series.
Oh, bloody hell. Courtesy of Westwood One. Fitting, a 29-yard kick from Riley Patterson wins the game for the Dolphins in Madrid. All of that set up by a Marcus Mariota pick on the first play of overtime by Jack Jones, who broke out the Cristiano Ronaldo celebration.
I told some of the players, I was like, man, the suit was better than the interception.
Final score, Miami 16, Washington 13.
That was actually a wildly entertaining game. Mike McDaniel, coaching for his life, makes the massive mistake of not kicking a field goal to go ahead. It should have cost him his job if they had lost the game. Somehow they win the game.
Just leave him
in
Madrid.
It was incredible. Yeah. It was that was a amazing European game, exactly what you'd expect overseas.
I will say this: if you're going to be fired and left in the city, being left in Madrid, pretty cool.
Yeah, and honestly, I think Mike McDaniel would just stay.
He would stay. He'd have a good time.
Yeah, it's funny. Two things. One, Ollie Gordon scores a touchdown and hit what I thought was the salsa, and then I was like, no, he could be doing flamenco.
Yeah,
it's possible.
There was a lot. Listen, the official trying to make that call, the first call in Spanish. Oh, wow. We got some work to do there because I don't speak German, but the German, when it was done in German, it sounded good. That did not sound good at all in Spanish. Good Lord.
Also, the broadcast was just, they couldn't have been like praising Marcus Mariota more in the broadcast, Pearl, at the end of the game. He was the first guy that they had to re-sign, or that they signed. They need Marcus Mariota. He's such a good mentor. Just like pick. Just on cue. Oh, so funny.
I mean, honestly, they probably should have kept him out of the game when he got hit and he got hurt. Like, I don't know why they brought him back in. I'm not sure what the Commanders are doing. That's by their disaster.
Yeah, this is just over.
This is over. They need to just bench everyone.
Hargrove, he was awesome yesterday. Yeah. He was great. And the line, they had these big goal line stops. Like, the defense looked good. Remember, Dan Quinn is now taking over defensive play calling responsibilities.
But good against, are the Dolphins a good team?
Definitely not.
No.
They're 4-7 now.
I mean, Achan is awesome. How many times does he go to the sideline kind of banged up pretty much every play?
He's a little guy.
But he is amazing. I tweeted this on Sunday. If the Dolphins make a playoff run, I think I'm getting a Dolphins tattoo. This is the most amazing team. That they're 4-7 and they won yesterday despite a major coaching gaffe.
How about a tattoo of Mike McDaniel?
I totally would, because I don't. What are they, 4-7 now? They have to run the table, and even that might not get them in. So I feel safe saying that. I think. But if they could beat the Jets and the Saints, they're 6-7. Then they win at Pittsburgh. You never know. 7-7 feels like the playoffs are in reach. When you're 7-7, no one's counted out that record.
What makes you think that the Dolphins are winning in Pittsburgh in December?
But I watch the Steelers, like Mason Rudolph or whatever. The Steelers don't scare me at all. I think they're a pretty average team too. I mean, that's definitely a game. In December, they need a break with the weather. I'll give you that. They need a balmy December day, but we get those once in a while now.
You should stand corrected.
Hopefully some good news here. Former Browns quarterback Bernie Kosar announced that he will receive a liver transplant today, Monday. The 61-year-old told Cleveland Magazine last year that he had been diagnosed with cirrhosis of the liver and Parkinson's disease. Kosar led the Browns to 3 AFC championships, losing each time to the Denver Broncos. Switching on over to the NBA, Jaylen Brown, he scored 33 points. Peyton Pritchard added another 30 in a Celtics win over the Clippers, 121-118, and 47 points for Lauri Markkanen as the Jazz beat the Bulls in double OT, 150-147. Mom, Dad, back to you.
Manny, great job pulling double duty here. We're going to shuffle the deck chairs. If you want to watch the musical chairs, youtube.com/Infinity Sportsnet, twitch.tv/Infinity Sports Network. Still to come, we have the M&P 500, whose stock is up, whose stock is down after a massive weekend at Pearl. We have not forgotten about college football, and I saw you put something on social media over the weekend, and it caught fire. Tell you what Perloff said next, M&P.
I might even send an Instagram or a Vine.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. 3 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back to Maggie and Perloff show. Okay. Saturday night. 11:30? That game end. A little bit more before midnight. Andrew Perloff, or maybe you sent this Sunday morning. Even with 3 losses on X, even with 3 losses, Texas should not be out of the college football playoff discussion. Who's with me?
Yeah.
Not the internet. You really believe Texas? They lost to Georgia over the weekend, and in the fourth quarter, Georgia really piled it on. I mean, they were aggressive. Even an onside kick, Pearl, that surprised Texas to take the lead. I think final score was 35-10. I don't have it in front of me. It was a Georgia avalanche at the end of the game. Steve Sarkisian saying we played terribly. You really think Texas would deserve to get into the college playoff with 3 losses?
Well, it's funny. I think they should be in the discussion. Kirk Herbstreit, literally 2 minutes before I tweeted that, said, hey, I understand Texas has 3 losses and they haven't led in a 3-loss team. Well, there's only been 1 year. but Texas has 3 road losses, including an early season one. If they can beat Texas A&M, then at least we have a discussion. So if they beat Texas A&M, they'll have 3 wins over top 10 teams who were top 10 at the time, and nobody's going to be able to match that. So at least you can make an argument. The key is, listen, they lost all these games on the road. So you could at least make an argument that that is understandable. And UGA did win 35-10, but it was a tricky 35-10 because there was a questionable 4th down call, and it was just a matter of converting a bunch of 4th downs, onside kick. So Texas has to fire their special team coach, obviously. I mean, basically, people were sending me messages, Texas is not threatening. They looked like they were about to storm right past Georgia. And then Kirby Smart was brilliant and just took over the game with the 4th down calls and the onside kick. I don't think, if you looked on the field, I don't think Georgia was that much a better team than Texas. They just were really, really smart the way they controlled the ball. Arch went 11 minutes in the second half without seeing the football. 11 minutes and 30 seconds.
But that doesn't mean they lost to Florida on the road.
But Florida does that. Florida beat Ole Miss last year. I mean, it happens.
Okay, well then that just means you think every SEC road loss means absolutely nothing because the SEC is the hardest, place to play. But I just don't think that's going to hold up. I think it's going to be the 3 losses. And by the way, Texas A&M, it took every minute to come back against South Carolina, but they still did it. And I don't know now if you look at A&M why you think they would lose to Texas. And then
that I totally disagree with. Like Texas A&M will lose to anyone. They should have gotten destroyed by South Carolina. It was 3-7.
I just don't understand why we have to bend ourselves into a pretzel to get this Texas team in. If it was like these 3 really close road losses, because I'm going to be honest, some of the wins that they've had, also the SEC wins, those have been tight. So it's not like they're blowing out teams at home. I mean, they're battling. And then they're losing on the road. Just because it's Texas and it's Arch, guys, we're getting a whole other year of Arch. I thought he would go to the NFL. I've found 100 different reasons why he would go to the NFL. I'm putting down my sword. He's not going to the NFL. We're going to get a whole other season. Now, is Sark going to leave for the NFL?
No.
I don't know. I mean, that was a report from earlier in the season.
He's got to get a real offensive line, and I think it'd be crazy because he could win the title next year. But the one thing is, name a team that's above them in the rankings that has I'm assuming if they beat A&M, who has 3 wins like that, there's not another team. If you go purely on strength of victory, they have some kind of case. Now, you're right. It's a deep long shot. They need a crazy amount of SEC teams to lose games. But I do think Notre Dame's going to have not even sniff a win over a ranked team. And they're going to be the number 3 team in the country probably. So I just think that nobody's going to have this 3 impressive wins like that. Now, the reason that you're not impressed is because you don't take Vanderbilt seriously probably. Not you. This is general you. And the fact that Texas has not looked great by the eyeball test. I will give you that. For example, I thought they were really getting momentum. I thought they were going to win that game because Arch had settled down. The line had settled down a little bit. And then Kirby Smart, man, he's the new Nick Saban. He just took control of that game.
To be honest, this version of Georgia, they're just that 4th quarter team. It's a little dicey. They let teams hang around. It took overtime and against Tennessee. They have not been full on dominate you from opening kickoff to close. But in the 4th quarter, they find this extra gear. And so, they're the most dangerous team probably in the country, considering how they're able to turn it up like that. Nobody saw that onside kick coming, right? You're saying fire the special teams coordinator for Texas.
The special teams been terrible all year.
That's fine, but that was a ballsy play. And going forward on all those 4th downs, I mean, it was impressive, I thought, by Georgia. And it's funny, we don't even talk about Georgia like it's ho-hum. They're going to be in another SEC title game, obviously. This is crazy. 888-710-4ISN.
And Gunnar Stockton, he might look like he's 43 years old, but he is very effective. So, Georgia's really good. If that game is in Texas, maybe it's a different story. I think there's so much parity right now. Just the South Carolina putting a first half whooping on Texas A&M told you all you need to know about where all these teams are right now, except for maybe Ohio State. Is anybody so head and shoulders above anybody else? I think the parity is insane.
Also, and who has Ohio State really played?
Yeah, I mean, I was being generous.
Year in the first week of the season wasn't even September yet; it was still August.
Right, that doesn't mean anything. I know Ohio State hasn't played anybody, but at least you can look at them and say, well, they look pretty unbeatable. They have basically an NFL team out there.
Anyone with Perloff on the show here? 3-loss Texas team still getting into the college football playoff.
I said in the discussion.
In the discussion, pardon me.
They have a shot. Is it done?
They should not be in the discussion. Again, we keep doing this song and dance every year with these SEC teams. It's unfair that Texas has, quote unquote, all these opportunities to show that they're a great team and other teams simply don't because they don't have a certain conference alignment next to their name or a certain number next to their name. Like Texas, they've had plenty of opportunity to show whether or not they're a playoff team. They clearly aren't. So at the end of the year, where Texas A&M has nothing to play for, if they find a way to beat Texas A&M, I don't think that should change the landscape of how the season's gone for them. They are very mid. I mean, I watched that game. I did not think Texas looked all that impressive offensively.
But their defense is sick.
Defense is good. That's fine. But at the end of the day, you're going to have to be able to move the ball consistently. And and it wasn't Arch's fault. I thought Arch actually played okay. The drops were insane. Yeah. The mental errors on offense were insane.
The run game is awful.
Yeah, no run game. He had no help. But that's not that good a team. I think at a certain point, I agree with Maggie where it's like, we got to let go of this idea that whoever we thought Texas was going to be before the year when they were ranked number 1, they're clearly not that team. Maybe next year they'll be that team. Sark's a good coach, but they're just very mid to me.
I think they have some really, really talented players on defense.
Yeah, but that's fine. Like
Colin Simmons and Anthony Hill, and I think that I don't think they're a mid team. I think if you put them on a neutral field against a lot of teams, they would give them a really, really hard time.
I think in order to be a good team or something beyond mid, you have to be able to be good on more facets than just defense. Like they have a really good return man, but again, the rest of the special teams was a joke. And again, the offense, they can't block, they can't create a run game, they can't catch. I can't think of I can't say a good football team can't catch the ball or can't block.
Yeah, that being said,
not gonna do it for me.
I know exactly what you're saying, but they did. They beat Oklahoma. Mateer was coming back. That was an impressive game against Vanderbilt. I'm telling you, they will probably out of nowhere beat Texas A&M.
Okay, took overtime to beat Kentucky, took overtime to beat Mississippi State, got John Mateer coming off a thumb surgery or what have you. Like, I don't know. I put Texas more in like the Michigan USC kind of tier as opposed to the Texas A&M Indiana kind of tier and Georgia tier, obviously.
I think they could beat Michigan and USC.
I'm just saying that's kind of where I put them.
Yeah, it's funny. If I was going to power rank them, like neutral field, I put them well above those teams. I don't think Michigan's very good. And, they're playing much better football now. Even that game, they were hanging in there with Georgia. I don't think 35-10 really tells the story of that game at all. Because
Georgia scored 21 fourth quarter points. It does tell the story. And Texas scored 0.
First half,
there was an onside kick, though.
But Georgia should have been up more than 11 in the halftime. It was 14-3. They thoroughly dominated Texas.
Credit Texas defense.
Yeah, it's fair.
The O-line, I knew it was going to crumble. Everyone's like, oh, the O-line is fixed. No way. And Arch, by the way, I know we're doing a report on it. He was fine. He had no chance of getting a rhythm. Like, they need a rhythm on that offense. And Sark not having a run game is the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I'm telling you, I think one of the biggest disagreements you and I have about Texas, first was how Arch was playing earlier in the season, but secondly is about Sark. I completely believed that story that he had his agents sniffing around the NFL early. And they said that, what was Diana Rossini's report? That even the Titans, he might even be interested in that because of Cam Ward, I'm assuming. I wonder if, every year we've been doing this thing. Sark has the most pressure to win of any college coach. This is going to be the year. This is going to be the year. I don't know.
He'd be crazy to leave. I mean, the whole team is coming back, right? They've been decimated by the draft.
But you have to re-recruit your whole team, I just wonder
in Texas, though, how hard is that?
Well, it's about the money now.
So they need to switch up their O-line. I think, I don't know. I look at that team, assuming Arch comes back. I don't know who they're going to lose on defense. I guess it's Colin Simmons in the draft, but generally they could be super loaded next year. Their run game, if they can't get a line run game going, then Sark would want to leave. But I think he has the bones of a really good program there.
Colin Simmons, by the way, he's going to have to stay for one more year.
Okay, great. I think that they're in really good shape. It's a very young team. I mean, look how many players. They put 22 players in the NFL draft over the last 2 years. So we should have. I don't know why I had them as my title
Listen,
pick.
they were the preseason number 1. Now
that
to
was
start
a
making
mistake.
excuses for
No,
that.
I mean, it was a mistake. They lost everybody. It's Penn State lost Ty Warren and Abdul Carter. Texas lost Matthew Golden. Basically, we should have looked at all those teams. Now, Ohio State lost Will Howard, but they got Jeremiah Smith to come back. This is a young, developing team. I would start focusing more next year already. But that being said, they are a big brand. They have 3 losses. I think the committee's going to at least try and make an argument.
Oh, man. Now we're doing brand. We're not even doing eye tests anymore.
Now we're doing brand?
Why even play the games? 888-710-4ISN. 888-710-4476. Okay, so much to get to. We have more news from college, but coming up, a debut for the ages? Not exactly. MMP.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. 1 minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
They're showing blitz off the edge. They'll rush 4. Sanders, pocket collapsing. He scrambles to the right, fires, incomplete. Roquan Smith breaks it up. No flags on the play with 57 seconds left in Cleveland. The Hayes in the barn.
I mean, Ravens radio, that over the top. You beat ShedeurSanders in the second half as he made his rushed and rough debut yesterday. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. Dylan Gabriel, who was not playing well to begin with, got concussed, Pearl, so he was out in the second half. In comes ShedeurSanders, totally cold, never had any first-team reps, and it looked that way. No points scored, picked up 1 third down. He was sacked twice, threw an interception, had one nice throw, basically. It was a debut that left us wanting more.
Yeah, I mean, he used to get away with a lot of that stuff at Colorado, where he could run around and make plays in the backfield, and he can't get away with the NFL. We saw it in the second preseason game that he played too. He just has not adjusted for NFL speed. I kind of put that on the coaching staff. Yeah. Don't let him hang back there. Just say, throw the ball away. But even that seemed like a major challenge to get the ball out of bounds. He had 16 passes, and Dylan Gabriel played more time and had 10 passes. I'm not quite sure. I know they had at the end, they had to drive to try to tie the game, but still, I felt like they got into the Shedeur moment. It's almost like the crowd was like, Shedeur, Shedeur, Shedeur. The coaching staff's like, well, let's give them what they want. And they shouldn't have. They should have put him in a very conservative position.
Yeah, it was not a setup for success, which is funny because they were basically leading and tied for a lot of the fourth quarter until the Ravens had to run this sort of trick play. They set up Mark Andrews for the tush push. He bails out of it and then streaks down the sideline for a touchdown. It was not a great game by the Ravens at all, but the defense was feasting on first Gabriel and then on Shedeur, Shedeur didn't have a prayer back there. And you know what's funny? Because we talked so much about Shedeur through the preseason and then obviously through the regular season, and we wondered, it seemed like the coaching staff was not really sold on him. And in fact, the entire NFL didn't seem very sold on him because he dropped to the 5th round, and it was one of the biggest stories, if not the biggest story of the draft. But it's days like yesterday where I do think the coaching staff deserves a lot of criticism, not just for what they were running yesterday and allowing him to be kind of a sitting duck back there, but you are the backup quarterback. And I know that reps are hard to come by on practice weeks, but the fact that Shedeur had never taken a snap with anyone on the first team, and he was you're one injury away from being the starter. That's the whole deal about the backup. And Dylan Gabriel is like a smaller quarterback who even a 6'5" quarterback can get knocked out of the game. But Gabriel is a smaller kind of guy. So the idea that he would get knocked out with a concussion is not a surprise or a shock. I hope he feels okay. I don't want him to get knocked out of the game. But why didn't ShedeurSanders get any first-team reps when he's been the primary backup the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, maybe because they're tanking. I mean, they did trade Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett. So when they did that, I mean, we should have seen early this season. The defense is
so good that they kept him in these games.
Why would they trade Flacco if it wasn't all about losing?
Fair.
I mean, you want them to tank, right?
I don't know.
I do.
I don't trust the Browns. The Browns can have the number 1 overall pick. I don't trust them. The Browns could sign a former, former All-Pro. I don't trust them. There's something about it's the place where quarterbacks just go to fail.
Yeah, I mean, they're not quite the Bears as far as bad quarterback play. But that being said, you have a better chance at number 1. I mean, the Bears are all-time worse. Joe Flacco's 5 games with the Browns 3 years ago was better than anything the Bears have ever had. At least they've had a 4,000-yard passer in their history. So I think you have a better chance at number 1. Unfortunately, it's kind of a weak quarterback draft.
Yeah, so Fernando Mendoza is going to go save the Browns.
I don't know if it's going to be Mendoza.
Right? But whoever, Dante Moore, whoever you think is going to be the number 1 quarterback off the board.
Well, they won't.
Ty Simpson's going to save the Browns? No, he's going to be another name in the graveyard of terrible Browns quarterbacks.
We don't know that. Listen, we'll see if Stefanski is back. What are you supposed to do? Just not have a strategy? Just go out there and try and be 500? Like, what's the point? They were smart to trade Flacco. Do you think they should have kept on Flacco? Flacco didn't even look good when he was in there.
No, and now Flacco's kind of fallen off even with the Bengals. They were not competitive yesterday against the Steelers. There was a lot going on in that game, by the way. The AFC North is really falling apart in terms of chippiness. You had Jalen Ramsey and Jamar Chase getting into it all game long, dirty plays back and forth, and then Jamar Chase appeared to spit on Jalen Ramsey, which caused a retaliation that got Ramsey kicked out of the game. Jamar Chase says he never spit, but obviously it's an NFL game. We have 100 camera angles, and it definitely looked like he spit on him.
Yeah, definitely. By the way, Cleveland right now sits number 3 in draft order, and they're the 2 teams ahead of them, Tennessee and the Giants, both have quarterbacks. So that'd be a good spot. Number 3, that way you don't have the pressure of taking Ty Simpson, number 1.
What does it matter? I mean, you're the first quarterback off the board.
Well, I just think that they're at a good spot to get a quarterback here and build around them. Now, I know you're saying the Browns, but what are they supposed to do? Just fold as a franchise?
No, I'm just saying they had a chance with Baker Mayfield. They actually did choose right on him.
That was going south, too.
I mean, the guy got hurt on the non-throwing shoulder, and they basically shipped him out for Deshaun Watson, who nobody is surprised that didn't work.
Yeah, no, that's not true. You telling me we sat here the day they signed Deshaun Watson and said that was a bad thing? Nobody said that.
Well, we should have known. Put it that way. It's probably
there
the best
were 5 other teams that were willing to pay him $200 million as well.
And it would have failed there, too, because he obviously, A, was not able to stay healthy, I guess, first and foremost, and B, he had all that stuff hanging over him that made it so weird because of all the accusations and the civil cases and all of that stuff. It just, your fan base can't get excited about it. And then on top of that, he was getting hurt.
I think that's easy to say now. I don't think that was so clear at the time, based on the way the market. We just started the segment by saying the NFL market knew Shedeur was a 5th-round pick. The NFL market, many teams thought Deshaun Watson was very valuable.
Sure.
Because if you take this, what you saw on the field in Houston was very impressive.
Sure.
I know. Of course, you're right. We should have seen that coming, but we didn't see it coming. Nobody saw it coming. So at the time, Cleveland, I understood what they were doing. They had to take a desperate swing because they couldn't find a quarterback anywhere.
Well, I think they had one in Mayfield. They just gave up on him. But agree to disagree on that one. Here's the bigger part. Do you think that yesterday, Shedeur's very rushed debut, as obviously he wasn't planning on starting yesterday, but he is the backup. Does that mean the NFL was right? Because there's a lot of people who still believe that Shedeur fell in the draft, not because of the football, because of the bad interviews, because Dion got involved, because of all the other stuff. Do you think yesterday was score a win for the NFL evaluators who said, no, he's actually a 5th-round pick?
No, I don't think yesterday was a great indication of where Shedeur will be as a quarterback. I think he's going to be at least a solid backup in the NFL. I don't think 4 for 16 with 1 interception. That's not who Shedeur is. I think he'll play much better than that.
I don't know if he'll get a chance, though.
Why not?
Well, if Dylan Gabriel comes back from his concussion, then I think they're going to roll with Gabriel. It doesn't seem to me like they want to go to Shedeur. Manny, can we hear a little from ShedeurSanders himself? Cut 20, please. Plain and simple, he didn't play well.
I don't think I played good. I don't think I played good at all. I think it's a lot of things, we need to look at, during the week and go and just get comfortable, even throwing routes, with Jerry and throwing routes with all those guys.
Yeah. Absolutely no first-team reps, according to Kevin Stefanski for ShedeurSanders. More from Sanders here. I'll hear Cut 21 says he needed to make the most of his opportunity. Didn't really do that.
No, the most I could ask for is opportunity. See, like that's an uncontrollable thing that I'm not able to control, and that's not, they gave me an opportunity. I ain't do up to my expectation enough to get us a win, so I just got to take that one to the chin.
Indeed. Cleveland has obviously lost 3 in a row. They will be at Las Vegas next week, Pearl.
Yeah, I mean, this is now about next year. Obviously, it's a waste of Myles Garrett, but, Myles Garrett could have really forced his way out of there and not signed that $40 million per year contract, so that's on him. The funny thing is, people are saying Andrew Berry saved his job. He had a great draft because Carson Schlesinger is a monster. That was a great pick.
Yep.
But I don't know what the point of that is either. And I kind of like Andrew Berry because his brother works for the Eagles, and we saw him at the Super Bowl. We thought it was Andrew Berry. They're twins.
Yeah, right.
But Cleveland's got to start over, and none of this really matters. I mean, whatever's happening this year. They said coming into the year, this is not about finding our quarterback this year. They would have drafted, if they had drafted Shedeur in the first round, then it's a different conversation. He's a 5th-round pick. So what's the difference? Like, there's nothing ventured, nothing gained here is how I look at it. I don't think there's any reason to panic about Shedeur playing bad there.
No, it's just he obviously is a very big interest to football fans. And you could say he's just your run-of-the-mill 5th-round pick, but that's not true. He's not. People have a vested interest in seeing him either succeed or fail. And whether, they like watching him struggle because of Dion or because of the watch celebration or because of whatever they think Shedeur is, or they feel like he's kind of gotten railroaded, not just by the NFL, but by his own team, because he did not look like a guy who was prepared to be one snap away from having to start that game yesterday if the Browns are actually trying to win games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that being said, I think you could prepare Shedeur all you want. His instinct is to keep plays alive, and they got to get that out of him. And you saw it in the preseason too. One thing about Dillon Gabriel, I've been a supporter of Dillon Gabriel.
Sure.
His best pass, he literally had to jump up to get the ball over the lineman. When Shedeur came in, I'm like, finally the Browns have an NFL-sized quarterback. I was like, I don't care how bad this goes. The Dillon Gabriel thing, they're not creating the right lanes. Like, they thought he'd become Drew Brees. He has trouble seeing over the line, legitimately. Their offense is a total mess right now. I feel bad for Stefanski. Look at his face. That guy was out of there as fast as possible.
Well, that's what I was wondering. Like, people are questioning whether or not Kevin Stefanski's in the hot seat. It's like, if I were him, I'd be looking for the first exit. Not trying to be that person, but this franchise is the Titanic. And why Myles Garrett signed up for his whole career potentially to be with Cleveland is beyond me. Like, you went through all the negativity of asking for the trade the week of the Super Bowl becomes this massive story, but then you relinquish?
They've had 35 quarterbacks. All of them were losers.
Just makes no sense. You were right there. You were on the doorstep. You were giving the organization a reason to trade you away.
Relegate the Cleveland Browns to the NCAA.
I think Kevin Stefanski would be way better off if he got fired than if he stayed there for one more year. What are the odds that whoever you draft next year is going to be able to turn around the franchise and save your job? Because he's going to be Brian Daboll next year. He's going to be, all right, we got you a quarterback, and if you don't start winning immediately, you're fired. Doesn't matter if it's a rookie. Doesn't matter if the rest of your team stinks. It would make no sense if I was him to want to stay. Now, he has no control of that. You're not going to pass up guaranteed money. But if I was him, I'd want to be fired because I think he goes to the offensive coordinator market or even NFL head coaching market. I think he's still a pretty hot commodity. He's a coach of the year. He's taken Browns to the playoffs multiple times. He'd be way better off if he got fired.
I mean, they are coming off a pretty good offseason. You have to give them some credit.
I mean,
that Travis Hunter trade was a grand.
I mean, they passed on
auto right
They passed
there.
on Travion Henderson, which is still a massive.
That was a huge mistake.
And I said it that day that was a mistake.
Well, Judkins was ahead of Henderson for most of the season. Now, he had some nice games early, but they did get Mason Graham's awesome, Myles Garrett obviously on the other end, and then Carson Schlesinger and Harold Fannin had a big play in the fourth quarter. He had some chemistry with Shedeur. So I mean. They're stacked in the draft. Unfortunately, it feels like 2026 is going to be a weak draft. It might keep Andrew Berry's job, the GM.
Yeah, let some other coach handle it with those guys.
They're going to have a great defense.
I mean, Paul D. Podesta already jumped ship. He's going to the Colorado Rockies.
Yeah.
It couldn't get any worse on Major League Baseball side.
But that being said, he obviously did nothing there. Never moved to Cleveland once. I I just think that you're going to have a great defense, so maybe the job's attractive. Some offensive guys like, I could do something with this offense. Just give me some kind of quarterback. How about you bring Kirk Cousins over?
I was thinking about that yesterday with Cousins. So Michael Penix got hurt yesterday. So did Drake London. But it looks like Penix might be out for a little bit. Well, we have to see. Because he seemed that he re-injured the same ligament in his knee that he injured earlier in the season. So it could be like a re-aggravation. Possibly. We'll get more info today. And then Cousins comes in. And they lose. And I was like, you kept Cousins for this. Like, you kept him around. There probably could have been a trade maybe for Cousins. Maybe there's a suitor out there. And they were so staunch and adamant about keeping him. And then he comes in these games in relief of Penix and they lose anyway.
Well, I mean, what were they going to get? Because of his contract, like a 7th-round pick?
I mean, I don't know, anything. You could have maybe...
Would you have got rid of him for a 6th or 7th, though?
Possibly. I mean, he asked to be traded, too. It's like he wanted out.
Yeah,
I don't know. I would have tried. Maybe I eat some of the money so I can get a little bit better draft compensation. There's always that.
I mean, Joe Flacco went for a 6th. I got to imagine Kirk goes for at least a 5th.
Well, except for the money.
But again, you can eat some of the money because you have a rookie quarterback. So
then you got to find a backup because you knew Penix was going to get hurt. I mean, Atlanta, by the way, Atlanta's like a high-end Cleveland. They seem to be stuck as well.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. I've said this before. Like, they lose in overtime yesterday to the Panthers. They're a 3-win football team. I root for a team that has maybe some of the most painful losses in NFL history, and the Falcons obviously do as well.
Go Bills.
In the Super Bowl. I can't imagine how painful it must be to be a Falcons fan. Because it's like, it's every week it's the kick in the teeth. You know, like some weeks, like, you know, teams lose in like, they just like all types of losses. That Falcons just seem particularly painful. You don't think so?
Well, I mean, I think.
And it takes one to know one.
Back-to-back overtime losses.
I mean, I think
they lost to New England because they missed the point after attempt.
I think most of the Atlanta football fans I know feel okay today.
Oh, because Georgia beat Texas?
Yeah, I mean, come on. Who are these Falcons fans? Call in. I want to hear from you. I know that you guys are pretty fun in the stadium, but I've never gone down to, you know how everyone in Philly and everyone in Buffalo is all about their NFL team? I don't know that the Falcons fans have ever rallied behind this team because they have no reason to.
Honestly, if you have other hobbies in Atlanta as a sports fan, thank God.
Well, yeah, it's
because
college football.
This is painful.
You have actually Georgia Tech is good now too, and
That's
you have
true.
Georgia, so there's nothing painful about this fall.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Okay, so much to get to. What a big weekend. We got the M&P 500 coming your way next. Whose stock is up, whose stock is down after a barn burner.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 3 minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
The M&P 500 on the Infinity Sports Network.
All right, this portion of the show is sponsored by Square. More than 4 million neighborhood businesses run on Square. To learn more, go to square.com or just stop by your favorite local business. See you in the neighborhood, Square. All right, every week we do Stock Up, Stock Down. Maggie, get us started after a wild football weekend.
Yeah, stock up first to me, Chicago Bears. I still don't know how they're winning these games. 5 games this season in which they've had to come back in the final 2 minutes. The Bears end up taking a 16-3 lead into the fourth quarter. Minnesota battles back. Vikings take a 17-16 lead with less than a minute left to play, and it's like, here comes Caleb Williams, just put the chin strap back on, getting within field goal range, and it's Cairo Santos hit a 48-yard game-winning field goal. They've won 7 of their last 8. They're in first place in the NFC North for now because Detroit lost last night. They still have to play Green Bay twice. There's a lot of tough games left on the schedule, including your Philadelphia Eagles, but right now the Bears. Break up the Bears.
Are who we thought they were.
I mean, come on.
Take a picture of the standings right now, Bears fans. You're in first place.
They beat a bad quarterback. J.J. McCarthy looks bad. Me and Justin Jefferson are going to go, I don't know what we're going to do. But Justin Jefferson just wants out of there. McCarthy, come on, dude. Why Tom Brady calling Caleb Williams one of the funniest things I've ever seen, because he's like, I can't do what Caleb can do, but Caleb sure as heck can't do what I can do. Because he's like, the inaccuracy was, you could see in real time. I think it was Brady on the game. He was like, oh my God, I mean, he gets to his spot, but then you never know where the ball is going to go. It's so much fun. I do like the way they play, but I don't know if it's sustainable. Okay, I'm going to go with a weird one for my stock up, and I know EJ will love this one. Carolina Panthers wide receiver Teteroa McMillan, big part of a 30-27 win over Atlanta. Here's what I found most interesting about him on Sunday's game.
What's that?
Apparently, you can't call him Tet. So the announcers have to go full Teteroa, although T-Mac is acceptable.
Okay. He doesn't like Tet because it's...
Just he finds it offensive, so you cannot call him Tet.
That is correct. I heard the same thing.
So I don't know why, but now you have to call him Teteroa McMillan, which makes him even cooler for some reason. And there's nothing cooler than a 6'4" wide receiver who's just going to moss guys left and right. Combined with Leggett, who also, on the other side, is a monster. And then they have this tiny little quarterback who's finding crevices and making plays. I'm into Carolina. I'd like to see them challenge the Bucs for that division because the way the Bucs keep getting injured, I feel like that division in the NFC South is back on. All right, Mag, stock down.
All right, if the stock goes up, stock's got to go down. And I got to give it to Sam Darnold. I mean, 4 interceptions. And to be fair, Seattle was still in this game and had a chance to steal it at the end if Jason Myers had hit a 61-yard field goal, but they did not. Rams win. Rams may be the best team in the NFL outside of Perloff's Philadelphia Eagles, but this is what you're always worried about with Darnold, Pearl, because he's got a ceiling. And it feels like with some of the biggest games of the year, last year, the end of the season, and the playoff game, and then obviously this was a big one. It's a gigantic game, a lot of eyeballs, a lot of attention, and he was thrown to God knows who. God knows when.
I don't know. I mean, he was under enormous pressure. He was pressured on all 4 of the interceptions, and he was trying to make plays because they were trailing. I'm not sure I see him exactly the same way. He is one of the cheapest starting quarterbacks in the NFL.
Okay, well, you don't say that now, but he was also, people are talking about as an MVP candidate. That's all gone.
Maybe. I mean, that being said, the real thing is Seattle lost this one in LA. If they can get the Rams back in Seattle, I mean, nothing is really derailed there. Did you think any less of the Seahawks? They took them to the last play of the game. I didn't come away saying, oh my God, the Rams are way, way better than Seattle at all. In fact, I was like, oh my God, we're going to be talking about a Seattle with a miracle win on Sunday. The fact that they had 4 interceptions and were in position to win the game says to me, they're right there with the Rams. I think that both teams don't want to come to Philly, and Philly doesn't want to go out to both teams. So I actually came away somewhat impressed. As you've mentioned, the defense is awesome. And JSN is amazing. Even though he was a little limited, their number 1 receiver, I'm not down on Seattle any more than I was before. I think they're going to be in the mix. Okay, my stock down is the Green Bay Packers wide receivers / DBs. I think they ended at 7 drops, but what is the deal with these guys? Do they not have gloves? What the heck was going on?
Wait, the DBs or the wide receivers or both?
Well, the wide receivers had 7 drops. With like 3 minutes left in the game, the announcer had the official stat. They might have dropped another one. The DBs dropped the DBs were the Keystone Cops. Jameis Winston kept throwing the ball right to them. That I can forgive. But, man, are they screwing over Jordan Love. And I don't know what to do. I would have benched Romeo Doubs. He had 2 major drops in the first half. Then he came back and played much better. But I don't know where they turn at receiver. They pulled a cornerback, and they're putting him in at wide receiver. Yep. Golden came back. That team is lost. And anybody who says it's Jordan Love is not watching them, in my opinion, because he's playing so much better than his numbers. The wide receiver corps let him down. Watson had a great touchdown, so that made up for it. And then Jameis was an adventure on the other side.
But Jameis was an adventure, and then who ultimately sealed it, though, for the Packers at the end? Jameis is loading up to try this Hail Mary, and who is it? Micah Parsons, who got to Jameis. He didn't have a really flashy game yesterday, but ultimately he did seal it. All right, stock goes down. Stock goes back up. I'm going to go stock up to the Purdy-Kittle connection back on. I mean, they have some serious chemistry. I know Perloff can't tell the difference between Brock Purdy and Mac Jones, or you think they're same. I don't really see it that way. You know, Arizona played Mac Jones earlier this year. It was a 1-point win at home. They go on the road to Arizona, and Brock Purdy, they were clicking. I mean, that offense looked great. Maybe Arizona's waved the white flag a little bit.
I mean, he had 200 passing yards. Mac Jones gets 300 in his sleep.
Well, not against Arizona the last time they played. I'm going common opponent here, and I thought Purdy looked good in his return, especially the Purdy-Kittle connection. So that's my stock up for those two.
Well, I mean, listen, they were gifted 7 points on the opening play of the game. Arizona is done. All right, for my stock up, I'm going to go Eagles defense. I mean, I hate to say this because I don't want to jinx my team. If Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter are healthy up front, I think those two defensive tackles might be impossible to beat.
Yeah.
I mean, that is a strong middle of the line. It's sort of a different defense than we expect, but gosh, I don't know where the weakness is. And this is a team that got torched by Manny's Giants early in the season. I don't know how they turned it around. You mentioned earlier in the show, Jalen Phillips came from Miami. He seems to fit perfectly. Everybody's healthy right now, and I think that defense could lead them to a Super Bowl. It's that good right now at every level. Quinyon Mitchell looks great. Cooper DeJean looks great. Nakobe Dean is back. He looks great. Brandon Graham only played a few plays, but he looked great in those few plays. I don't see a flaw there. Maggie, am I overconfident in this unit?
No, the defense, Cowboys. The defense is fantastic. It's just your offense, not good.
Pretty average. Pretty bad.
I think they'd be lucky if they were average. They look below average to me.
Yeah, wait till the playoffs when Hurts decides, I'm allowed to run. He is allowed to run, It's not against the rules. He did run a few times yesterday, and it worked great. We'll see. Jalen Hurts, he's only good in Super Bowls. It's a weird thing.
So, final one for me, stock down. It's got to go to whoever the state trooper was who pushed the South Carolina player. I mean, that guy is going to be out of a job, at least out of the job of being at these games.
I know. He didn't get fired. He just got put off the games. I'm like, so what? He should be fired.
Well, I think it takes a lot for a cop to get fired or a state trooper.
That's true. That's true.
Like,
one mistake like that, I guess, okay.
Yeah, well, who knows? But this was totally unprofessional, uncalled for, and that's not being anti-cop. I mean, cops shouldn't want people like him in big spots, very high-profile, visible spots, because you can't basically elbow a player and kind of got caught in between two players. You're supposed to move to the side. That's the player's tunnel. They get the right to the tunnel, in my opinion. That's not keeping everybody safe. It's not de-escalating anything. It's escalating it, and it was embarrassing. So that's a stock down right there for that state trooper.
And that was after a touchdown, too, which was
he's like crazy. Running into the tunnel.
Yeah.
And he got hurt on that play.
Crazy.
Sorry, can I do one more quick stock down?
Yeah.
A couple of officiating things that drive me nuts. They keep calling this defensive tackles trying to sneak through and block field goals. They keep calling it hitting a defenseless player and changing games. They got the Cardinals on that yesterday. That rule is ridiculous. When I don't know what they're supposed to do about it. And the other thing is they used the Hawkeye technology last night with the Broncos-Chiefs game, and it was wildly inaccurate.
They used it in the Bills-Bucks game, too, and it was a little closer, I think. But
yeah, so what's the point? The official decides where the spot is, so there's no actual AI helping out here. It drives me crazy that they pretend that this is like tennis. It's not like tennis at all. Tennis, the technology is tracking the ball.
Yeah.
But you don't do any of that in football because you have to decide when the knee is down. So that was funny because they went to the Hawkeye technology and the announcer was like, wow, that doesn't look exactly right.
Should have gotten it by at least a foot, and they had him getting it by like a nose.
Yeah, it was funny. It is kind of cool. I kind of like the look of it. It's kind of neat. But I don't know what's the point of it is. Is there any point at all?
No, I think they're just trying to get people, like to reassure people that they're right on the spots. But you're right. If you actually think about this technology, it doesn't mean that at all.
Because you have to decide when the guy's knee is down.
One last stock up that I forgot. Stock up Emma Perloff.
Playing
Anna in the Frozen Junior version of Frozen.
Oh, is that right?
That I went and saw over the weekend, and she was spectacular.
Oh,
really great.
You were too nice. It was a stressful weekend. My daughter is Anna in Frozen and lost her voice. So she was drinking tea, has not spoken in 72 hours.
Wow.
Literally has not said a word so she could perform for Maggie, and she wouldn't sat out.
Me and only me.
So flu game is what you're telling me.
Honestly, her all our relatives came, and Maggie and her mom and her son. It was so much fun. Her voice was a little limited, but it was great, and it was great. My parents loved seeing you. They're such huge fans, and it was so great to see your mom. It was a big family affair.
Yeah, it was really, really fun. And
Right.
I'm going to be honest, like Dan Campbell should want Emma Perloff on his team. Grit. This one, I mean, she was like playing through laryngitis, basically, and she sounded great.
Wow.
Well,
it's like playing on a torn ACL.
Basically, she's Drew Brees. What was it? Phillip Rivers.
The first song, I was so worried. I'm like, oh God. Her first song, I couldn't hear it at all, and then her vocal cords warmed up. The key to acting is she's a really good projector. You're, the same as the radio business.
Totally.
The key is to project, and acting, you got to project to the back of the house, and she couldn't do it. Fortunately, it's a junior play. The house is not exactly massive. How big would you say
Were there
that
30
room?
people there? More? 50?
No, there's 65 seats.
65? Okay, it was filled.
Yeah, it was filled. It's a small room. It was really, really fun. It's such a cute play. There's like 5-year-olds running around.
Yeah, very cute.
Pretending they're, what were they? The trolls? I mean, and honestly, Frozen is a banger. Can we just say the songs are amazing?
I think Frozen 2 is just as good.
EJ, I'm going to need that. Frozen is a banger. Thank you very much.
buddy.
Frozen 2, also good. But, the play, for people who don't know, the play is different than the movie. There's a song in the play that does not make it in the movie that everybody loves, called Getting Higgy with It.
That's what it's called. It was great. They did a fantastic job.
Super, super fun. Thank you for coming. Manny, EJ, I assume I'll see you guys next weekend.
Oh, yeah, sure.
I'll look at my calendar.
Yeah.
EJ, it's in Queens.
Oh, that's
Where
better.
Where in
He's
Queens?
still busy that day.
Like what area?
I think I'm going to be sick
Long
that
Island
day.
City, technically. It's right near Court Square.
Oh, okay. That is far from me, but okay.
Wait, EJ,
Too far, but
you guys were doing some wedding food tasting.
Oh.
yeah, it was a crazy weekend.
Are you going with the duck?
Oh, well, there's like a set menu,
Okay.
so we only got to have like a share of what could be options, and I'll tell you what, the scallops we had, I'm like, we need to finally get that on this menu because it was banging.
Scallops is a main entree. Is that what we're talking about?
No, yeah, this was as a main entree. Yeah, this was the one that we had. It was good, but then the pork chop also was great. This place knows what they're doing. It's the reason why we picked it.
How many dishes did you get to try?
So 2 entrees, 2 appetizers, and 2 desserts.
But did
the
you
dessert choice-
try different options for all that, I'm saying?
No, it was like
that's what
it's
you
a
got to
chef's
try.
dinner. So like basically, if you go on this day, like this is what
you're getting.
This is what you're getting. So like every Thursday they do this throughout the year. So we had to pick 2 days. This was our first of them, and this was a good menu.
Here's a question. Not that you have to give this away because EJ's getting married in June, but here's the question.
You are?
Are you guys doing traditional wedding cake? Because at one point, this kind of went out of style and people started doing cupcakes and other things.
No, there will be a tiered cake, a real wedding cake, and a tiered
Bravo.
cake.
Bravo.
Especially because when, I hate to air out their business, but when we went to Andrea's brother's wedding.
Go ahead.
Like only 20% of the people got cake. Wow. And there's a conspiracy that perhaps the caterers at my brother-in-law's, they may have taken the cake back with them. Because
Stolen the cake?
I got cake. So I had the cake, but
Yeah.
everyone else at the party is like, where's the cake? Where's
No
the
one
cake?
got
I
it.
had cake. I was like, I don't know. I had cake. Andrea still talks about it. She's still angry that she didn't get to taste cake. And there was 2 different cakes. But it seems like only 25% of the audience actually got the cake.
Gotta
So
get Sherlock Holmes on this thing.
it's like either it fell or maybe the
Might have
something
fallen.
happened. There was some Keenan and Kel hijinks happening in the back. It had to be.
Let me ask you a question. Would your fiance be interested in a looks like cake situation? Like maybe make it like a Lombardi trophy or something?
Is it cake?
But is it cake?
Gosh.
The hell does he know about a Lombardi trophy? He's a Jets fan.
I don't know. Or something like along the lines of your interest, like a worldwide wrestling belt that's actually cake.
Yeah,
Is that
there
in
are
play?
things that I joke with Andrea that I think are as immediate divorces or immediate breakups. That would definitely be one of them. Say, hey, our cake should be the Larry O'Brien trophy. Yeah. She's like, you know what? Let's just cancel this wedding now.
Yeah, your fiance has way too much class for let's hope that she takes the reins in this situation. Maggie, you'll
Yeah.
agree with that.
Well,
Blue and orange cake, right?
Mixed colors.
Yeah,
You generally want to leave this one to the wives.
Figurine on top. Groom and bride figurines on top of the cake. Yes or no?
Oh, that's not happening.
Yeah. Except in this case, it's not a bride and groom. It's actually Jalen Brunson and
I know, yeah,
Josh
Jalen
Hart. Villanova teammates.
The teammates.
All right, Manny, hold out for 1 second.
Oh,
I know
sure,
you're
I'm not-
doing all this double
I'm not
duty. I'm
going
sorry.
anywhere.
Is this okay, EJ, if we... Okay.
Yeah, he's the EP. Ask him.
Yeah, I know. Bogusch is off covering WFAN, so Manny is covering for us, and we're all doing musical chairs. Hold on, hold tight 1 second. We'll come back. We've got headlines for you, and one big question about Josh Allen that we're asking today. It's MMP.
Just bring it, jabronis.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. 15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff Show. All right, Manny is in doing updates today for Bogish. We got so much to get to, including the Philadelphia Eagles with another signature win last night for the defense. It's the Packers last week, now the Lions this week, and the defense was strong.
Oh, yeah.
Manny, what do you got, sir?
Well, this update is sponsored by Skechers. Watch the Skechers World Champions Cup this December 4th. 5th and 7th on ESPN and ABC. One person in Denver said that Sunday's game between the Chiefs and the Broncos was the biggest at Empower Field at Mile High since the final matchup between Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. That was the AFC Championship game almost a decade ago now. The Broncos won that game by 1 score. More of the same yesterday.
At the 25, an attempt of 35 yards against Kansas City. I won't even mention it. Snap placement, kick on the way, and it is good. They don't block this one like last year in Kansas City.
Yeah, Broncos Radio Network. Will Lutz avenges last season's heartbreaking loss at Arrowhead with a 35-yard field goal. Broncos 22, Chiefs 19. The Denver D forced Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense to punt on their final 2 possessions of the game. Here's the KC QB.
I mean, just having an opportunity at the end of the game and not coming through, getting the ball back with 4 minutes, and all you need is a field goal is a spot that we've been in a lot, and we've been able to do that. But, I mean, there's hit things here and there, but I think that's the biggest one is that's what you want. You want to get that opportunity at the end of the game, and I didn't come through.
That's 8 in a row now for the White Horses. Maggie wanted me to bring this up last hour, so here we are. Yesterday afternoon, I got the full Jameis Winston experience, and it went exactly how I thought it would go.
In the shotgun, Winston looks it over. Here's the snap. Winston sets, throws, left side of the end zone. Intercepted! Intercepted by the kid! Oh, Evan Williams delivers in the left corner of the end zone. And the Packers deliver the dagger.
Yeah, they did. Jameis Winston, 19 of 29 for 201 yards, 1 rushing touchdown, and that enormous interception in the fourth quarter in his Giants debut. Evan Williams with the interception. What the hell happened, Jameis?
I believe timing and execution is so important, you know, when you're in crucial moments. Like when defenses see routes, like you and the receiver have to be elite in timing and execution, and I believe Jalen and our timing and execution could have been a lot better.
Yeah,
victory comes from the Lord.
That's a really nice way of saying Jalen Hyatt did not run the right route.
This is wonderful.
Drew Brees was all over it yesterday, by the way. He's doing the game. I think the Mark Sanchez firing kind of created this whole shuffling of the deck, Pearl, and now Drew Brees is in at Fox, and he called this. He's like, Jalen Hyatt was too deep on the play, not shallow enough, I guess is what it was.
Didn't curl towards the back corner of the end zone. That's where Jameis Winston would throw the ball. Hyatt just kind of sat where he was, and there you go. Instead of having little Jordan Humphrey on the roster, where you have Jalen Hyatt still on the team.
But Hyatt's awful.
He stinks.
I mean, this is where you start looking at Joe Shane,
the
general manager. You got the head coach already fired, and why the GM got to stick around. Or is he going to stick around? I don't know.
I hope not. And the DC as well, Shane Bowen. I mean, the defense, again, not exactly up to par. Yeah.
When the Giants stormed down on the first drive and scored a touchdown at 7-0.
Oh, it was almost pornographic.
Yeah. Did you? What was the house like? Where
you got a weird fetish.
I was doing backflip, front flips, cartwheels. I was doing it all. I was Jameis Winston's going to throw for 400 yards. I had a big fantasy game against Pat Boyle. I picked up Jameis Winston. I thought, oh man, Jameis is going to 4 touchdowns, 400 yards. Instead, I kind of got a dud.
I was like, the Packers are so unlucky that that it's Jameis and not Russell Wilson out there. And then I don't think, did he have any drives the rest of the game? I guess he did, but not much.
Who, Jameis?
Yeah, the rest of the game was like nothing like that.
Well, after that, the Giants did get one final shot with a handful of seconds left. But, of course, it was Micah Parsons who strip sacked Winston to end the game because, of course, and now Micah Parsons 9-0 in his career against the New York Football Giants. after the Packers go to MetLife and get a 27-20 win over my G-Men. Baseball hot stove. Josh Naylor is headed back to Seattle. He and the Mariners reportedly agreed to a 5-year deal, that pending a physical. Naylor was acquired at the trade deadline last season and hit .299 with 9 home runs, 33 ribbies, and a perfect 19 for 19 on the base pass in 54 games with the Mariners, because we all know Josh Naylor is basically Billy Hamilton. We go to hoops now. Calf issues sidelined Wemby yesterday, but the Spurs beat the Kings 123-110. 35 points for old man Kevin Durant in a Rockets win over the Magic, 117-113. And in a game absolutely nobody was watching, the Brooklyn Nets, they defeated the Washington Wizards 129-106. The Nets improved to 2-11. The Wizards are now 1-12.
Man, you're doing a great job this morning.
Thanks.
EJ, also, you guys are shuffling around here and doing an awesome job. Did you happen to see, this was definitely not going to make the update, but did you see the Maryland basketball player who got hurt on a dunk over the weekend?
Oh, yeah.
They were playing Marquette. And the only reason I bring this up is I'm squeamish. I can't watch certain things.
Sure.
But all the articles kept saying he gets hurt in this unbelievable way. He was stretchered off the court. Now he's okay now. He was tweeting after the game like he's fine. But they never said what the injury was. So I'm like, this is so weird. Like, it keeps saying he got injured on this dunk, and it was very awful, Pearl, and cover your eyes. But they never said, was it his ankle? Was it a knee? Was it, the bone sticking out? Like, what was it? So I actually
It's like one of those hockey injuries, lower body injury.
Nope, they didn't even say.
Wow.
So I went back, and I was like, all right, I'm going to look. Like I'm watching a scary movie, like through my fingers. I don't know what it is.
Wow.
It's so painful, brutal, and just awful. But what is it? Is it the elbow and the shoulder? Is it the legs? Like, watch this thing. I'm not asking you to watch something graphic and awful. And obviously, again, like he's going to be okay. But Pearl, it was such a violent fall that you almost couldn't even tell what he hurt at first.
Farrell Payne. What a name.
So maybe he just got the wind knocked out of him.
No.
Well, he's done for the season, evidently.
Yeah.
Oh, so he is hurt.
Yeah. He landed awkwardly. That's all you're getting. Everything about this dude crumbles in a heap.
I'm sorry for laughing.
No, it's crazy because I watch it and I'm like, I still don't know what it is. Is it leg? Is it the elbow? Is it the shoulder?
Suffered a serious hip injury?
That too.
Yeah.
I mean, the way that he slipped, you could definitely think maybe an adductor type of issue. But yeah, that was a very freak fall that
really
he had.
freakish. And just a bad weekend for the DMV in general. So you had the Commanders, Pearl, lose that game in Madrid because Marcus Mariota threw a horrible pick on their first possession of overtime. Just brutal.
They should have lost the regulation, but Mike.
Fair. They shouldn't even gone to overtime, but they lose that game in Madrid, so that's a long flight home. Then you've got Maryland is going to bring back Mike Locksley.
Yeah, you saw that, right?
People are not happy about this.
But
Why
they
does
did
he
say
get
they
to
were going
stay?
to quadruple the budget, though, right?
I mean, that's what they said.
Locksley is well thought of in the industry. I mean, he's actually, his name's got floated around before.
I don't know why.
He came on this show and was a delight, but I don't know about the coaching part.
But if they do quadruple their budget, I mean, you can buy a roster. I don't know. Can you name? Is there a single Maryland player in the NFL right now?
Stephon Diggs.
Torrey
Smith might be the only guy.
Torrey Smith, who is retired. Yeah, so I don't know if they've ever had. Is Mike Locksley had any talent whatsoever?
No, but that's the thing. You're not keeping anybody, And I not that he was going to keep Caleb Williams.
Is anybody signing other Maryland players? I don't even know.
Well, yeah. Caleb, that was a big one, but I don't know if anyone was expecting.
Caleb Williams? Oh.
Yeah, Caleb Williams.
What about? Well, he was never there though.
No, he's never
keeping
there.
Maryland player. Yeah, I'm just saying, like he's never had any good players. He never had Caleb Williams. You're right. He was in the area
in Washington D.C.
Yeah, there's good players in the area. He don't get them though.
So Washington Commanders lost, Maryland bringing back Mike Locksley, and then this horrific dunk, injury on the dunk.
I mean, the Wizards losing is probably good. Like you don't want to beat the Nets.
Oh, no one cares about.
So you got that. I mean, you got to give them something.
They had the nice jerseys though, the gold and black jerseys from back in the day when probably you were covering them. Yeah, they look nice on the court, but they stink.
No, wait, gold and black.
Yeah, the gold and black.
You don't remember the Gilbert Arenas?
The Gilbert Arenas gold and black look that they had.
I don't remember them being black. They were whiting with gold, and they had their road jerseys were blue and gold.
No, they had an alternate that was gold. You remember when you see it?
Yeah, maybe.
It's
maybe I was gone by then.
I love those.
Look up those highlights. Look up those highlights.
I can't because I'm too busy watching this terrible dunk.
How about Pistol Pete?
How about Pistol Pete?
How's Gilbert Arenas?
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Yeah. So that's what was going on yesterday in the DMV. Not awesome.
I mean, DMV sports, though, if you're being real, it's
lacking.
It's been rough for a while now.
I mean, last year with the Commanders going to the NFC Championship game was dynamite.
I feel bad because one of the wedding planners at our chef's dinner that we had, because we invited, Andrea's brother.
Yeah, you're getting married in Baltimore.
Yeah, he's a massive Commanders fan. So the woman that is one of the wedding planners is a huge sports fan. So she's like, "Oh man, how about those Commanders?" And I could just see my future brother-in-law just like willowing because she's trying to be nice. She's like, "I mean, they were great last year, and look what happened. I mean, I don't know what's going on." And he's just like, "Can you please leave me alone? This is misery." Yes, I know. Jaden Daniels almost broke his entire arm. Yes, yeah. I know.
Sports small talk when your team sucks is hard.
You don't want it. I don't want anybody to ask me about the Jets. Don't ask me when my team is bad. I don't want to talk about it.
How about those Jets, EJ?
Yeah, no, hey, I got nothing.
At least they won 2 in a row this season.
We got that.
Yeah. And that's where we're going to leave it. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. But not leave you for the morning. We got a whole other hour to go, including coming up next, what happened last night to the Lions offense. Why were they so inept? What happened? And also coming up, one big question about Josh Allen that may have gotten answered yesterday. It's the Maggie Perloff Show.
I'm not normal.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Bad news for Aaron Rodgers. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. Tough moment yesterday, Pearl. Steelers end up winning the game easily, 34-12 over the Cincinnati Bengals, but the score was 10-6 at halftime, and that's when Rodgers was ruled out of the game. He fell on his non-throwing wrist, and there's a break, a little bit of a fracture, I guess, in one of the bones is what we're hearing, and it looks like he will not be playing next week, according to Adam Schefter. So this is coming off of a week against L.A., the Chargers, where they looked terrible. Aaron Rodgers looked so bad. We're wondering, is the cliff coming for Rodgers? The first half, tight game, not awesome, and then he gets hurt. Mason Rudolph has to come in, and honestly, the Steelers' defense has been a little inconsistent this season, very inconsistent, but yesterday turned it up, and they were really the reason why they were able to cruise to a victory.
Yeah, I mean, Rodgers actually looked pretty good in the game too, but I don't think there's a major drop-off to Mason Rudolph, who's a very experienced backup, has won a ton of games with the Steelers. And I see they're 3-point dogs against the Bears. I'll bet you that line even comes back towards Pittsburgh because I don't think there's a major game changer here. Schefter tweeted that Adam Schefter, ESPN's insider, said that it's looking like it's going to be Mason Rudolph against the Bears.
Okay, sorry, looking like.
So honestly, I saw Mason Rudolph look pretty good. I feel totally fine that Pittsburgh can do what the universe wants and just find a way to get to 10-7 like they always do. Feels like they're the same team. I don't care if Rodgers is in or out. You know, Mike Tomlin is going to define what the offense looks like anyway. It's always conservative. So I think they can survive this for a couple weeks. It doesn't sound like slight break in his left wrist. Even that, I feel like he could be back in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It doesn't feel like this is devastating.
Okay, well, if we're talking about the Steelers' playoff chances right now, because it's that time of year, we're into November, and you start looking around, do you want to guess what their the Steelers to make the playoffs, what percentage that is right now?
59.
27. 27%. That's their chance to make the playoffs right now. A lot lower than I ever thought, Pearl. If they lose at Chicago next week, which is totally fathomable, it goes down to 20%. If they lose to the Bills, now we're down to, 13%. Things are just really trending in the wrong direction here for Pittsburgh. And you're right, maybe there's not an appreciable difference at this point between Aaron Rodgers and Mason Rudolph. Maybe. But it's looking like the Ravens, win yesterday against the Cleveland Browns. Took them a while. Took them a real long time, actually, to put that game away. And ShedeurSanders was even in the game, and still the Ravens really couldn't get a handle on things until they ran basically a trick play with Mark Andrews bailing out of a tush push and streaking down the sideline for a touchdown run. this is not great for the Steelers. You know, I know you didn't believe it, but I think inside the building, they thought that Aaron Rodgers was really going to be a factor. I think they thought Aaron Rodgers, combined with a good defense, was going to give them a chance. And the Ravens start off 1-5, and the Browns are in free fall. The Bengals are in free fall. And I think if the Steelers miss the postseason now, people will be massively disappointed.
Well, I mean, Rodgers' season high is 249 passing yards. Is that why can't Mason Rudolph do that?
Maybe he can. I'm just saying now, if the Steelers don't make the playoffs, whether it's Rudolph, whether it's Rodgers, I mean, you staked yourself to this pretty big lead in the AFC North, and it appears to be crumbling despite a win yesterday.
Well, if Steelers fans thought that, I think they were being unrealistic because it seems like they have the same team that they've had the last 5 years.
But that was make the playoffs at least, though, and lose in the first round.
No, but did they have? Weren't they 9-8 and 10-7? Missed the playoffs one time in this.
They missed the playoffs during this 17 years.
Yeah,
I forgot.
I feel like. I mean, it's the same thing as it always is. Mike Tomlin is good enough to get you to 9-8, but right now, the way this team is, he's not good enough to win the Super Bowl. So I don't know why you would, even with Aaron Rodgers, I don't know why you would have thought that this was going to be any different. I mean, why?
Because I thought they started showing a lot of confidence. When Rodgers first got there, it was, well, let's wait and see. He was not pulling the same thing he did with the Jets, saying the Lombardi Trophy is looking lonely. He was not calling a shot the way that he did in New York. He goes to the Steelers, but then as it grew, as he got closer and closer to the season, you just saw that they started talking a much bigger game.
It was that dumb McAfee show that got you convinced.
No, but the trade for DK Metcalf and then paying DK Metcalf, they started doing things that were out of character for a Steelers team. When's the last time the Steelers had traded for a wide receiver and gave him $100 million?
Right, but then they let George Pickens walk, and they were back where they started. They were shaping up to be kind of conservative on offense. They had Arthur Smith as their offensive coordinator. What did you expect? It was going to be the greatest show on turf? Of course it's going to be the Steelers. Mike Tomlin wants to win 19-13.
Okay, but Pearl,
even with DK Metcalf, and I understand what you're saying, but I still think that they were sort of designed to be this Pittsburgh Steelers conservative attack.
You're damn right.
It still makes it disappointing if they miss the playoffs, considering they got off to a pretty good start.
No, of course.
And the fact that they would, not be able to finish this off, and right now they have a 27% chance to make the playoffs when they're technically in the lead in the division. They just won yesterday.
Well, I mean,
rough.
listen, you're right. They were 4-1, but they had beaten some now we know bad teams. And last year they were 8-2, and they completely fell apart. So I don't know what Steelers fans expect here. I'll bet you, if I was a Steelers fan, I would think, oh, man, we're just stuck in limbo where we're good enough to have a winning record, but we're not good enough to make any real noise. I imagine the Mike Tomlin fatigue is going to grow, especially if they do miss the playoffs. But if they make the playoffs, they're going to lose in the wild card round. So what are we talking about here?
I just don't understand how they're going to make the playoffs now. Let's say they lose. They have 2 games against the Ravens. Let's say they lose the next one against the Ravens. That one's in Baltimore. And let's say they lose at Detroit, right? Totally, you would expect it, right? Then the chances that they're out of the playoffs are 85%. They only have a 15% chance to make the playoffs if they lose those 2 games. And
that sucked.
And I'm saying they might even beat Buffalo and Pittsburgh. Who knows?
Well, I mean, it's going to be 9-8 or 10-7, right? One of those two, because it always is. Can 9-8? I guess 9-8 you're out in the AFC right now. But then again, some of these teams ahead of them could start losing. Maybe they make some noise, and maybe the Chargers fall apart. Maybe the Chiefs don't win. Maybe they sneak in at 9-8.
I don't know. I'm looking now where I'm giving them 11 wins, and they still would have a 15% chance to make the playoffs, which is crazy. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. So looks like Mason Rudolph is going to play next week, according to Adam Schefter. We'll keep an eye on that. Let's get to the NFL in 60.
Maggie and Perloff take you around the league, recapping this weekend's football action. Time for NFL in 60.
Okay, every game in less than 60 seconds. EJ, you want me to set them up, or are you going to do triple duty here?
No, we got this here.
All right, let's go.
We're going to begin in Madrid, where sorry to the Spaniards that you got this game. But it wasn't overtime, doozy. Dolphins beat the Commanders 16-13.
I mean, Mike McDaniel opted to go for it at the goal line when he could have had the go-ahead field goal with less than 2 minutes left. did not make it. Didn't even come close. And I think the entire internet fired him on the spot. Of course, they somehow won the game. They got to overtime. Washington couldn't beat them in regulation. Dolphins are 4-7. They play the Jets and Saints next. They could be 6-7 head to Pittsburgh. If they're 7-7, man, I'm going to laugh so hard. Be 7-7, you think you're in the playoff picture. At least you make the graphic on Fox
or
CBS.
Hunt. Yeah,
you're in the hunt.
You know, one good thing here, I think, about the Commanders, the defense did look a lot better. With Dan Quinn now calling the defensive plays, you had Javon Kinlaw was great at the goal line. Jonathan Jones, 3 sacks. Like, Bobby Wagner obviously is a Hall of Famer. Frankie Louvu. That was a strong showing as Marcus Mariota threw a horrible interception in overtime.
Well, I mean, the Dolphins should have won in regulation. That was insane. But sorry, go ahead, EJ.
Another heartbreaking loss for the Falcons. The Panthers roll into Atlanta and win 30-27 in overtime. 448 passing yards for one Bryce Young.
I know that's 120 more yards than he's ever thrown, Pearl, in a game. What happened to Atlanta's #1 passing defense in the NFL? It's completely fallen apart over there. Teteroa McMillan and Rico Dowdle, like, obviously great weapons for them, along with Xavier Legette. So, fantastic job. And for the Falcons, now they've lost 5 in a row. They're injured all over the place, and Michael Penix hurt his knee again.
Well, at least they have that great first. Oh, no, they traded their first-round pick for next year.
For the Rams, of all people.
But I'd love to see the Panthers make a run at Tampa Bay for the NFC South title because the NFC South is so boring. Can we do something here to shake it up?
Things looked dire for the Buffalo Bills, and then one Maggie Gray got on the treadmill. They scored 44 points, and Josh Allen accounts for 6 touchdowns as they beat the Bucs in Buffalo.
Yeah, I got my fat butt on the treadmill and started walking, and the Bills started winning. So clearly it's all about me. No, that's just how I get my stress out. The passing game looked better with Keon Coleman as a healthy scratch. Yeah, finally! Yeah, that's saying something about the second-round pick with Shavers now catching this 43-yard bomb. You know, James Cook just doing enough. Josh Allen, the passing game finally looked a little bit fixed. This is what it's supposed to look like, and this is how the Bills are going to win games, Pearl. Shootouts like this because the defense is still not good enough. I
mean, they should be able to handle Tampa Bay coming up to Buffalo. That should be an easier win. So you've been telling me all along the defense is broken, and I kind of saw that on Sunday.
Oh, now you believe me?
Well, it's the tackling is the issue. But, hey, the Bucs play the Panthers in Carolina in Week 16. That is a big game. That's shaped up to be a big game because assuming the Bucs might trip up at L.A. next week, they go to 6-5, and like I mentioned before, the division is up for grabs.
A late touchdown pass by Cam Ward was not enough to hold off the Texans as they went on a walk-off field goal. Houston beats Tennessee in Nashville 16-13.
Ugh, gross, entirely disgusting. What is happening? I watched about it. I had that on my Sunday ticket thing because I wanted to see. I'm like, okay, I wanted to come out of that game saying Cam Ward looks good, even though the rest of the team is bad. I couldn't even say that.
No.
Because there's something about the play design. You never get to see Cam Ward do anything there. You probably watched that game. I know you watched Cam Ward. Like, something is completely just off with Tennessee. And then Calvin Ridley got hurt. I don't even really care. Houston, to me, here's where you and I disagree. I think Houston is also irrelevant. Like Davis Mills, I'm sorry. This is not happening this year.
Okay, but he came through again. I mean, on that drive, he starts looking at Nico Collins and basically no one but Nico Collins, and it ended up working out. They play Buffalo now on a short week. I'm telling you, the Bills have trouble in Houston. This could end up being a little bit of a mini streak here.
But even
if
they win that game, they going to KC, unless CJ Stroud comes back and is the old CJ Stroud, they have no upside to me.
The Bears avoid deja vu against the Vikings. They stave off a late comeback by Minnesota to win on a walk-off field goal. Bears beat the Vikings 19-17.
How are they doing it? How are they coming through in the clutch? This clutch, Pearl, the Bears. I mean, you know, taking advantage of a struggling J.J. McCarthy. And, let's put the Bears aside. Right now, they're top of the NFC North. They're winning all these games. In the last 2 minutes of the game, they're finding this, like, extra gear. The Vikings. Think about it, Pearl. Could have had your pick of quarterbacks. Could have stayed with Sam Darnold. Could have had Aaron Rodgers. Could have maybe made a play for Stafford, possibly. I don't know if that was a real thing. And instead, they decided to roll with J.J. McCarthy, and he's clearly holding them back.
Well, they had to find out, right? At some point, they drafted him at number 10 overall. The logic was there. I think they are in big trouble. Big trouble because I'm not sure he has it. And there's Justin Jefferson obviously threw his helmet down in frustration. Yeah. I don't know how long they have to mess around with this project with J.J. McCarthy. Give him next year, and then it's either makes it or bust.
A barn burner in MetLife Stadium that concluded with a Christian Watson touchdown and a Jameis Winston interception. Pretty predictable when you think about it. Packers beat the Giants 27-20.
I mean, the Packers, you got to walk away from that game feeling so depressed as a Packers fan. Because if you can't beat that team soundly and you drop 7 passes and at least 5 more on defense, the Packers are a mess. I don't know where they turn a wide receiver. They just better hope Matthew Golden, who came back this week, is their first-round pick is great because I just don't know how they're supposed to move the ball. Josh Jacobs hurt. This is an offense that is in trouble.
Yeah, we found out yesterday that Kevin Stefanski, the Browns, holds like these extra practices like for the rookies and stuff. The Green Bay has to hold some extra practices for the wide receivers and the DBs and just to try to catch passes because you mentioned it earlier in the show, Pearl. The wide receivers are dropping balls. The defensive backs were dropping gift-wrapped interceptions. Should have been interceptions from Jameis Winston. I mean, they could have a much more explosive offense than they do, but they keep making these self-inflicted mistakes.
That's a coach.
Drops.
So right now the Packers are 6-3-1. I would watch the hot seat from Matt LaFleur. Like that offense has got to start to look more functional, or they're going to start to wonder about him. Because I think Jordan Love looks good. I think Jordan Love is not the problem at all in Green Bay.
Malik Willis even came in and threw a touchdown.
By the way, I wouldn't mind seeing more of him because he gives them a run element.
Steelers may put the Bengals away for good. They win 34-12, sending the Bengals to 3-7. But as we mentioned, Pittsburgh losing their quarterback.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers gets hurt, the non-throwing wrist, so we'll see what happens with him. I think the positive is how the defense bounced back after a bad loss last Sunday night against the Chargers, Pearl. The defense where Joe Flacco had been lighting up everybody. Flacco less than 200 yards passing on 40 attempts. Other big storyline out of this game, which you'll be hearing a lot at the water cooler, is Jamar Chase spitting on Jalen Ramsey. He denied doing it, but there's video all over the place of him spitting on Ramsey. It was retaliation for Ramsey with a dirty play earlier in the game. Ramsey ends up getting kicked out of the game to retaliate for the spit. It was just a whole bunch of bad blood.
Yeah, I mean, there's more to the story. I hope the NFL looks at the entire tape of that game before they make any harsh judgments or fines. Okay, I call that the Kenneth Gainwell receiving game. Once again, Ken Gainwell, former Eagle. He is probably the best offensive player for Pittsburgh right now, which is so bizarre. I actually thought Mason Rudolph played really well in relief. You saw how ShedeurSanders looked completely rattled when he came in for Cleveland. Mason Rudolph has been there, done that. I'm not saying he's an A or anything, but he'll give you good B- quarterback play, so that gives Pittsburgh a shot.
Jaguars bounced back from a collapse against the Texans last week to come home and rout the Chargers. 35-6 was the score in this one.
You had to feel bad for Justin Herbert. There was one big hit that knocked him out, but it wasn't just that. He never had any time to throw the ball at all, and the Jags are going to kick themselves because they lost last week when they shouldn't. They have this running back, Tootin, who looks like the truth, combined with Etienne. The Jags they're an interesting team. I'll give you that. I don't know. Is good too strong a word, Maggie?
I'm proud of the Jags because last week was so awful, and they clearly came out ready to play with an opponent that was ready to not block. Or the Chargers' just offensive line is just so banged up, and I worry about Justin Herbert because he was sacked 3 times. One of those sent him to the medical tent. Maybe the Jags are a little spry. It's weird that they also have the Colts in this division now. Houston's coming on, so this is not walkover stuff here in the AFC South anymore.
But they should be able to play with those teams pretty evenly. I don't think they had as many drops on Sunday. I mean, obviously they were in control of the game, so it didn't really matter. We'll see how that receiving. I'd like to see if they're in a shootout. I am very worried about that receiving core.
Let's move to the 4 o'clock window where 4 picks from Sam Darnold doomed Seattle, though they did have a chance at a late field goal that missed badly. Rams beat Seattle in SoFi 25-19.
Yeah, Perloff and I don't see this the same way. I look at those 4 picks from Sam Darnold, and even though the Seattle defense kept them in the game, I feel like this is what we're talking about when you're waiting for the other shoe to drop with Darnold. Because some of these picks just look like, what are you looking at, dude? This is when the defense gets you a little bit sped up, and all of a sudden you become a massive liability. Again, kudos to the Seahawks defense for keeping them in this game and making life uncomfortable for Matthew Stafford, but I was not impressed by Darnold yesterday. How could you be?
Yeah, but here's the thing. They did. How many total yards did they have? They had 414 yards against the Rams defense. There were points where they were moving the ball really well. I thought that they needed to take the lead in the first half because they were outplaying them. It wasn't just the interception. There were other blown opportunities, and they just couldn't quite get together. I think those teams are pretty close. I'm curious when they go to Seattle. It wasn't like, remember last year that Sam Darnold got blown out of Week 18 by Detroit and then got blown out by the Rams the next week? At least this Seahawks team was competitive. I think you're right because of the defense.
Let's move now to Arizona, where this one was never close. 49ers beat the Cards 41-22.
Means nothing to me. I think the Arizona is completely given up on the season. The Niners have this easy schedule, so they'll probably make the playoffs. But I do not know how they match up with the 2 teams we just talked about, the Rams and the Seahawks. Yeah. Are they in that conversation? I'll leave it to you, Maggie. Are we talking about the Niners the same way?
I don't think they're in the same weight class now as the Rams or the Seahawks. Yeah. I don't, but I thought it did look good with Purdy. There were he had some wonky throws, don't get me wrong, and the yardage total was not impressive. 19 of 26, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, 133.5 passer rating though, and he led San Francisco on scoring drives on 8 of the 11 possessions, and they scored a season-high 41 points. I mean,
how long were the scoring drives?
Well, not that long. It didn't have to be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was not a Brock Purdy game. That's not called efficiency. It's called the defense kept putting them in amazing positions. The Cardinals were awful for most of that game.
It was an uneven, to say the least, debut for ShedeurSanders, who came in and went 4 for 16. Ravens held on thanks to a Mark Andrews run. 23-16 Baltimore in Cleveland yesterday.
I think they should have gone Wildcat for Cleveland the whole second half. Just run the ball like a college team. He's nothing good. Well, the last drive, they had to throw the ball. And actually, Shedeur looked okay on that last drive. But I would have liked to see them just gut the passing game altogether.
Well, I don't know. Quinshaw Judkins couldn't get really much going either. Here's my thing. So Shedeur, this is the Cliff Notes. If you're going into your office or wherever you work today, people are talking about ShedeurSanders. It didn't look good. He looked completely unprepared. And I think, to me, it's on Shedeur. It's on the coaching staff. He is the backup. He's always one snap away from getting into the game. And he looked like he never met these receivers before. He
was under a lot of pressure.
Tons of pressure.
Why is that on him?
It's on the coaching staff to have your quarterback ready to play.
I feel like the Ravens defense was running downhill the entire game. It did feel like the line had a prayer. I'm not sure if Shedeur could have prepared for 3 months for this game.
Yeah,
and it felt like he was facing a brutal pass rush.
That internal clock has not started yet for ShedeurSanders. That he seemed like he was waiting and waiting and waiting, and then he was just getting creamed.
I didn't think he had to wait that long to get creamed. He had to spin about 1 second in because the Ravens were really getting to him and Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah, clock was not clocking for
You want to know the other thing really quick? I know we have to move on.
Yep.
It provides a little cover here for Lamar, who did not play well yesterday. You can say that about Lamar. It's not a crime. He did not have a good game. A lot of guys have not had good games against Cleveland. Their defense is really good. And Lamar, it should not be that hard to beat these Browns.
Chiefs playoff chances take a bit of a blow yesterday. They lose on a game-winning field goal by Will Lutz. Broncos 22, Chiefs 19.
Broncos take advantage of the division. How about that? The Chiefs have won this division 9 years in a row, and now finally the Broncos look like they're here and on their corner to take their lunch. I'm just shocked that Patrick Mahomes gets the ball with 4 minutes left to go. All they need is a field goal to take the lead, and he goes 3 and out.
He had no idea what was coming his way, pass rush. But can we just look at the last 3 Broncos scores? 22-19. Very close game. Probably the best game the Broncos have played. They beat Las Vegas 10-7, Maggie. Las Vegas. They beat Houston. And that awful, awful offense, 18-15. Are we really talking about them as a Super Bowl team with some of these wins? The comeback in Denver over the Giants, 33-32. How can a team that lets the Giants score 32 points at home win a Super Bowl. I am mystified by this Denver team.
They're 6-0 at home. I mean, they have this home field advantage. So you're asking, are they a Super Bowl team? I don't think so. But if they get home field throughout the playoffs, they may have a better shot.
The Giants almost beat them at that home field, the New York Giants.
Well, here's the thing. To me, your story, you're coming out of this and you think the story is the Broncos. To me, the story is the Chiefs. They're still 500. We do this. When are the Chiefs going to turn it on? Well, it's getting late. It's getting late.
They're fine.
All right, and finally,
they're fine.
finally, a questionable defensive pass interference call sealed the win for the Eagles. Eagles 16-9 over the Detroit Lions.
I mean, yeah, the questionable is being kind. That was a terrible pass interference call. It didn't matter. You think Jared Goff was going to score in that windy environment? I've said it before. I'll say it again. You take indoor teams and you put them in the wind, then do not expect good things. And Jared Goff, we know famously, is not good in good weather. So you could almost immediately in that game, you saw that the Lions were going to struggle to score points. It's just not their thing.
Still got those cheerleaders.
Man,
they're just based on speed, and it's hard to do that down the field when you can't expect the ball to go where. I mean, there was one kick that started off straight. Or maybe that was a Giants-Packers game. I can't remember. But it went 40 yards off the target.
Well, that's where Jameson Williams, I don't agree with it. I think it's odd that you can do these whole choreographed touchdown celebrations where guys are rowing a boat or pretending to be bowling pins, yet a dude jumps onto the field goal stanchion, and all of a sudden now that's a personal foul, or whatever, unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, that was stupid.
It's so dumb, and it backed them up on the extra point, and then they end up missing because it was windy. I think they could have played this game indoors, and Jared Goff would have looked that uncomfortable. The Philadelphia defense was all over him.
Well, they need the vertical element to at least keep them off balance, and also they need Laporta. That was a big miss, big loss. Yeah, I don't think that game plays out at all like that in Detroit. I mean, Philly never started to be really conservative of offense too. By the way, Philly offense, you say they're bad. They did have a 6-minute drive at the end of the game. That's key. Like, they did make a bunch of first downs. I'm not as worried about the offense. I think that Nick Sirianni is playing this exactly how he wants to play it. Be very, very conservative to get the win. He knows that Green Bay was struggling last week. He knew Detroit was struggling this week. I think if he wanted to open up more, he could.
Keep telling yourself that. Okay, coming up next, we have Dallas Cowboys Monday Night Football tonight. We'll tell you what we learned about the Cowboys over the weekend.
All right, Maggie. Cowboys on tonight, and you know the best way to enjoy live action is by playing along with Prize Picks. Prize Picks, where if you're right, you can get paid. And right now, you can keep the season rolling on Prize Picks by getting $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. It's so easy to use. Just pick more or less on 2 players' projections, and if you're right, you could win big. All right, Monday night, a lot of sports going on. I know you have a lot of choices. You've probably been breaking down the numbers. What direction are you headed, Maggie Gray?
Okay, Geno Smith. I'm fading Geno tonight. Even though I know Dallas's defense is not very good, 235.5 passing yards give me less than on the Las Vegas Raiders quarterback. And I'm going to pair that with a little Giannis Antetokounmpo. 50.5 is the number for points, rebounds, and assists. Playing the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight, give me less than on Giannis as well. And you know what? Sometimes you can fade superstars, and that's okay because Prize Picks makes it all easy for you. What are you feeling? What's your gut tell you? What do the numbers tell you? Put it all together in the blender and download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code MMP. Get $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. That's code MMP on Prize Picks. Get $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 bonus credit in lineups just for playing. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks. It is good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Mand P.
You're in a 4-minute break. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 3 minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff Show. By the way, we did stock up and stock down. I forgot one play. Did
for
you guys
up
see
or for stock up or
stock beyond up?
Okay.
You've been for some reason I can't figure out, a critic of Darnell Washington, the massive Steelers tight end. Did you see him truck all those Bengals players? It's my favorite play of the year. There was also a play where he jumps over a guy. Oh my God, do I love that man. I would throw to him every single time about... I wouldn't even run the ball anymore.
That's my criticism. They do throw to him every time. They don't throw to Freiermuth anymore.
They throw to Freiermuth all the time.
Not enough.
Muth. They're saying Muth. What are you talking about?
Penn State legend, Pat Freiermuth.
Also, do they have to explain that every time on the broadcast? We know.
And also, they throw to Jonnu once in a while. They have Jonnu Smith now, I think, too. They have about 7 tight ends in that offense.
It's like my first fantasy team ever. It was just all tight ends.
They had a 3 tight end set. I saw it. Darnell Washington wasn't on the field. They had 3 other tight ends. They're an amazingly conservative, weird team. I love them. 10-7. Here you come. But Darnell Washington, oh, it was so much fun. It's like a adult playing with kids. It's the best.
Wait, Maggie, you were surprised that they kept mentioning the fact that they got to keep saying Muth? Like you also don't know that Matthew Stafford and Clayton Kershaw went to the same high school?
Yep.
What?
Ryan Fitzpatrick went to Harvard.
Yeah.
The things they always have to mention every time there's a broadcast.
Oh, by the way, also Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, cousin, Nikhil Alexander.
That I knew.
Yeah, we're going to get to that every game.
Yeah.
It's like, is there a casual... If you're that much of a casual fan and you show up to a Steeler, you're watching Steelers on TV, do you even understand they're like, it's okay. And, I love the broadcasters.
Did you guys watch the Spain game? They kept hitting Dan Quinn and Mike McDaniel coached together under Kyle Shanahan. Yep. I mean, come on. That stupid staff.
No, other way around.
Yeah.
Shanahan and McDaniel coached under Quinn.
Oh, right. Yeah, that stupid staff that people were talking about. Was Mike Shanahan originally there? Yeah, it was Mike Shanahan, right?
No, this was in Atlanta.
Mike McDaniel and Kyle Shanahan both were in Atlanta under Dan Quinn.
Right. But they were all together under Mike Shanahan in Washington that RG3 year.
Yeah, but not Dan Quinn.
Not McDaniel.
McDaniel? What?
Manny's confused.
I thought McDaniel was part of that staff. He wasn't in the original great staff. Because then it got back, then they started talking about all the other guys, too, that were in that amazing Washington staff in 2012. I didn't realize that. So Dan Quinn had nothing to do with it. Right. He was in Atlanta already. Duh. Okay. But McDaniel, that got a little annoying. And then for some reason, McDaniel handed a win to his buddy, and his buddy couldn't take it.
Nope, could not. Let's get to Manny, who's doing updates with us this morning. What's up, Manny?
This update is sponsored by Skechers. Watch the Skechers World Champions Cup this December 4th, 5th, and 7th on ESPN and ABC. Anxiety, nervousness, and tons of cursing. No, I'm not talking about my problems. I'm talking about the image I envisioned yesterday afternoon at the Gray residence in North Jersey.
Allen back to pass, now going to tuck it and run as he's looking for the end zone, and the surge pushes him in for his 6th touchdown of the game. He is a beast with a capital B. He is a scoring machine. He's unbelievable. He has tied his career high in a football game.
Bills Radio Network, a good day to be Haley's man and to have him on fantasy. Josh Allen, 19 of 30, 317 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, and another 3 with his legs.
Just finding a way to score down there, and had some quarterback runs up, which obviously helps. But again, guys make plays. Shaves made a heck of a play. Ty Johnson down the sideline just outrunning people. And then Jimbo making a heck of a catch for that touchdown there too. So it takes everybody.
The Bills, they beat the Buccaneers 44-32. But
I'm still a Bucs lover.
That's
okay,
right.
So I put out a poll yesterday on my X account. Is watching your favorite team enjoyable?
No, not when you have
80% of people who responded said no.
No, not when you have Jameis Winston as your quarterback. I can tell you that much.
It's just funny. Like, why do we do this? Like, we love it. We're addicted to it. We can't get enough. But none of us find this enjoyable.
Well, it's fun, like, leading up. You're like, this could be really fun. I can't wait to see it. And then it actually starts, and that's when the enjoyment goes away. Right? Like, you're really into it. Yeah. And then the game starts like, oh, I can't do this.
Well, it's especially bad when your team is the only team playing that day. Like, if you're having Monday Night Football or like a Thursday night or a weird Saturday night, those are the worst.
We're like, don't embarrass us on national television.
Oh my gosh! I mean, the opening season game for the Hurricanes, they had that Sunday weird Labor Day game.
Against the Irish.
Football. It's the only college football game on. The whole day, I'm so excited, and then the game starts, I'm like on edge. It's terrible.
Well, Margarita, Buffalo, without wide receiver Keon Coleman, he missed a team meeting during the week, leading to him being a healthy scratch yesterday. Here's Bills head coach Sean McDermott.
It is disappointing, but I still believe in the young man, and we get to a certain point, and I've got to do something. I try and give the guys kind of a strike approach. Hey, you get a chance to show your teammates that's not really who you are, and then when it happens again, then I step in. So I believe he will learn from it. He takes it seriously, and he will move forward in a way of growing from this, and that's the whole goal.
Yeah,
honestly,
Maggie, the key word again.
Yeah, again, the second time he's done it. Also, you don't live in Miami or LA or this big cities with traffic, okay? You live in Buffalo, New York, and Orchard Park more specifically. You being late to a meeting is 100% on you.
What do you mean?
And it's kind of disrespectful to Josh Allen, quite frankly. Like, I see that as a disrespect to Allen. You're supposed to be the number one receiving target right now. You should have been in year 2. You got the MVP of the league, and you still can't get it through your skull.
Instead,
you guys are total idiots.
Instead, you got some guy named Tyrell Shivers or something like that catching touchdown passes. Elsewhere in the NFL,
he'd be the leading receiver on the Giants.
Oh, well, all right. Well, elsewhere in the NFL, the Steelers, they beat the Bengals 34-12. Jalen Ramsey was ejected after throwing a punch at Jamar Chase, who might have spat on him. Aaron Rodgers, he suffered a small fracture in his left wrist during the game. He will be further evaluated today. The Eagles, they get bailed out by the Zebras. They beat the Lions in primetime 16-9, and the Jaguars, they maul the Chargers 35-6. To the NBA, the Warriors beat the Pelicans 124-106. That's not impressive. We could do that. The story here is Draymond Green and him confronting 35-year-old New Orleans native Sam Green. Draymond, he was called for a foul, much to the happiness of the fans sitting near the baseline. As Herb Jones was getting ready to shoot, on went Draymond to the fan and got chest to chest with him. Now, nothing got a little too hot, just some words were exchanged, but here's what ticked off Draymond.
He just kept calling me a woman. It was a good joke at first, but you can't keep calling me a woman.
He called me a woman, said Draymond, and the woman the fan was calling Draymond was Angel Reese. Why? Because of a sequence where Draymond grabbed rebounds in succession after missing short shots. The fan commented by saying, quote, "I wasn't using profanity, and for him to walk 12 feet off the court to come and get in my face like that, it was a little unnerving." Neither Green was ejected. Both of them saw warnings.
And it's always everybody else.
I mean, yeah, whatever. I mean, this is Draymond. Again, I think he's doing it for the podcast. I think he's doing it for content. Did you guys also see the Jimmy Butler fan interaction? I thought that was fake at first. Did anyone see this?
No, I didn't see that.
Okay, well, I think it's real. But again, AI, whatever. Jimmy Butler's on the street. And this guy's in a car, and he just starts berating him. Yeah, he was like walking. It was like the daytime. Like he had a coffee. And a fan starts berating him because he's like, I put $3,000 on you to get blah, blah, blah. Starts talking about some parlay that he lost. Did you guys see this?
Oh, no, I hate hearing that.
And he goes, you work for Vegas. This is the fan who's saying, you work for Vegas. You're in on it. Like accusing him of cheating, which he's not doing any of that, obviously.
At least we know of.
But it's just crazy because it's a mess. It's a mess. And now the NBA is going to be, did you see they're trying to get everybody's cell phones on the Lakers or many people's cell phones.
I saw that headline and that didn't sound good. That sounded ominous. I'd love to know what's on LeBron's cell phone.
It's interesting that they kept emphasizing that they got the Lakers, but then they kept saying other teams.
Other teams.
I'm like, who are the other teams?
Because is it something about Damon Jones, obviously, who was the unpaid assistant coach on the Lakers? But here's the thing. LeBron's not giving his phone up.
Well, that's what I was thinking, too.
It's not the police. It's the NBA. As far as we know, it's the NBA who wants it.
Unless he pulls a Tom Brady and destroys his phone. I mean, I guess the NFL had the power, I guess, to get Brady's phone, right?
Well, the NFL asked for Brady's phone, and he destroyed it. And if I were LeBron, I'd do the same thing. And I would just dare Adam Silver to suspend me. I don't think he's going to.
It's a lot of work to rebuild your contacts, so.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was thinking.
You think LeBron has one phone?
No.
Definitely not.
No.
I'd destroy then one of the minor phones.
Rich Paul's not doing his job if some clutch minion doesn't have all LeBron's contacts somewhere.
Clutch minion. Think of it, or
maybe
like a yellow person with the glasses, like the cartoon.
Maybe it is in the cloud.
But then, I don't understand. When Tom Brady destroyed his phone, weren't all the texts in the cloud? But how do you get rid of everything?
Oh, I don't think you can get rid of the cloud.
But I don't think the NBA or NFL can get into your cloud.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
This is why Terry Rozier got off the first time in the NBA investigation, because he just lied to the NBA. You cannot lie to the feds.
Of course, if you're one of those annoying people that doesn't have an iPhone and you got an Android or something or a Google phone.
There's always one.
Then you got the green text messages. I mean, that's not going into the cloud. So LeBron may have one up them there, right? Does he have a deal with Google? Yeah, he might have a Google phone.
He might.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
LeBron,
does he really use it?
I think LeBron's phone might be lamer than you guys think. Do you guys see the documentary Netflix did? Like, he's mostly focused on Halloween, and once that's over, it's all NFL football. I don't know what else.
I think it's selling LeBron short. That guy is definitely in for world domination.
Well, I don't know. He seems so laid back about he's like all these. You ever heard him talk about the different businesses? He delegates. He says, I delegate. I trust everyone around me.
I think as soon as this career ends, he's going to be full tilt businessman.
Oh, yeah. He's looking at Brady right now.
But that's also rich and maverick, too, though. I mean, he said, I'm busy playing basketball. I'll let those guys do it. I don't know. I think he has to tweet about the Cowboys a lot, send a lot of notes to his friends. Hey, did you see that play? Guy watches a lot of sports.
And lastly, guys, in one of the worst promoted series I've ever been a part of, the Global Series in Sweden 2025, the NHL, the Penguins, they beat the Predators 4-0. Did you guys know the NHL were playing games in Sweden? I had no idea.
A little weird.
Everybody knew that, Manny.
Yeah. Sure.
Do you know who their caterer is?
The caterer?
IKEA.
The caterer? The Swedish chef from the Muppets.
All righty.
Fusen.
Maggie, back to you.
I think I had a better joke with IKEA.
You guys are
and I'm
too
go
young
to
for the
break.
Muppets.
We're too young for the Muppets. Are you familiar with Zlatan Ibrahimovic?
Coming up next.
Yeah. Swedish legend.
The Cowboys on your television tonight against the Raiders. We'll break it down next.
The Draymond Green show with Baron Davis must go on.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. 15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back to Maggie and Perloff Show. You know that sound. It's the Cowboy Quickie. Just really fast, Pro. We got the Cowboys on Monday Night Football. They're in Las Vegas, 3.5-point favorites on the road. Not sure if Tom Brady is going to show up to this one and be in the booth like the last time the Raiders were in prime time. But this Cowboy Quickie is news about CeeDee Lamb. He was on the Pivot podcast.
Okay.
And he apparently spends $1.5 million on his body every single year.
Okay.
Like we saw
Like LeBron style, right?
Exactly. So do you want to know how it breaks down, what he spends it on?
Sure.
This is how you get to $1.5 million. Ice baths and cold therapy, hot tub, sauna, steam room sessions, because obviously you got hot and you need the cold. Red light therapy, hyperbaric chambers, personal trainers, massage therapists, nutritionists, private doctors and specialists, and premium recovery technology, whatever that means.
Don't you get the hot and cold well, I don't know if you get the hot. There's cold tubs at the facility. Why doesn't he just use those?
I don't know. Maybe you want one at your house, too, when you're putting in extra work on the side.
All right.
There you go. So how much do you think you spend on keeping your body upright every year?
$300.
A couple dentist appointments.
I was about to do, CeeDee Lamb got a big commercial this weekend, Dick's, and I saw I noticed it was Paige Beckers, Bryson DeChambeau, and CeeDee Lamb were the 3 stars with Santa Claus. I don't know if you saw he was running a lot.
And Draymond Green. Yeah.
And Draymond, but CeeDee Lamb belongs with Bryson DeChambeau and Paige Beckers. I thought that was pretty good for CD.
They're all on the nice list. Draymond, he's still on the naughty list.
I know. So is CD like a big-time Mahomes-ish commercial guy? I never, until this year, I don't think I've ever seen him in any commercials. I don't know. Thought it was interesting.
That's your Cowboy Quickie for today.
Cowboys, by the way, they better win this game tonight. Can we all talk about that for one second?
Why? What does it matter?
I don't know. For a lot of reasons. I just think that they cannot lose to the Raiders. That would be embarrassing. It's like the one crazy ownership group losing to the other crazy ownership group.
Okay, so just quickly, right now, the Cowboys have a 4% chance of making the playoffs. Let's say they lose to the Eagles. Not that surprising. Let's say they lose to the Chiefs or the Lions. I mean, we're looking at less than 1% chance. It's not about this year. As we said with the Quinn and Williams trade, it's about next year. Let's go to Richie, who's in Queens. Richie, you're watching the NFL yesterday, and you're thinking to yourself, what?
Yeah, a couple of things, guys. The Miami, you touched on it. That's egregious. You're on a 4th down, minute 50 to go. The other team doesn't have any timeouts. You know, they're always thinking about, oh, my God, they're going to kick off. They're going to get the ball to 35. And then you're playing for overtime. And you call 2 timeouts on defense to get the ball back, where on the 30, when you have no timeouts left. I thought that was one of the worst 2 minutes, but I'm not shocked. I see things that are happening all the time. That defensive play at the end of the game with against the Rams was egregious. I ref for 25 years. I don't say you put the whistle in your pocket, but unless it's really, really where he's impeded, you let them fight that out. Whether Goff would do anything, he didn't do anything the whole 48 minutes, so who knows, 58 minutes. But the other thing, too, is I watched Kofsky yesterday. And I don't think, Maggie, did you watch that game at all?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, his first challenge was abominable. To pick up 10 yards, and you know what hurt, Maggie?
Yeah.
Is that he lost that challenge, and then the catch with Robinson that probably was a catch, he was afraid.
Yeah, he's afraid to
challenge
do it.
there because he was going to lose his second one. So, yeah, I mean, just in general, and, things with Donald, he's seeing ghosts in these big games, and you've got to prove that's the biggest game they played all year. And despite 4 interceptions, they were still in it. So, yeah, it's getting down to crunch time, and Denver's been a great story, and I'm really shocked that Mahomes, like you said, went 3 and out. So you see things every week, and now it's getting to the point now where all these games mean something except tonight's Dallas Vegas.
And which one of these things is not like the other, Richie? Thank you. Yeah, tonight's Cowboys-Raider game. It will be fun and interesting, I guess, but not that meaningful. Not like Rams-Seahawks. Not like what we saw yesterday, Pearl. Your Philadelphia Eagles getting the benefit of a phantom DPI call with Brian Branch. And was it A.J. Brown who he was locked up with?
No, it was on Rock Ya-Sin, I think. Wasn't it?
Oh, was it? Yep, Rock Ya-Sin, pardon me.
But I'm not sure. I got to double check that. The Cowboys, by the way, 3-5-1. They'll go to 4-5-1 if they beat the Raiders tonight. I'm telling you right now, they are going to give the Eagles a very hard time. Dak owns Philadelphia in Dallas. He's going to the defense has been great. They do not have a good time against Dak Prescott. Vic Fangio does not have fun with Prescott. And then they get the Chiefs, Cowboys. I will not declare them done until they're done. We need the content, Maggie.
Oh, no, we don't. We're good. But
if the team's 500 in Week 13, no, they're definitely not out.
If they win tonight, their chance to make the playoffs goes from 4% to 6%.
Is anybody down with banning Maggie from using this playoff projector, by the way?
I like it.
It's not a little much.
It's sobering.
That was really funny. I like to keep that kind of content.
Thank you, E.J. Stewart and Manny Rodriguez. Wow, guys, can you possibly do any more today? I don't think spinning plates, maybe. We're going to juggle swords next.
Playoff projector says no.
Thank you to Andrew Kaplan. I was always doing a million things. And you guys on the phones, the Weedos, the coffee drinkers. We'll see you mañana.
You're in a 5-minute break.